Hello, hello, welcome in. Let's see, who do we got? Who do we got in here? Who do we have? Who do we have? Ay, ay, ay. America Truck, welcome in. Bye, Rouse 44, welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing today? Who else we got here? Let's see, Banking Logistics. How are you doing? Welcome in. Glad you guys are here. YouTube, welcome in. And X, also known as Twitter, welcome in. How's everybody? I'm glad you guys are here. Can everybody hear me okay? Let's get a mic check. We got a Buy Yourself 44 is in the house. Welcome in. We are in sunny San Diego, California today, you guys. I'm glad you're here. And welcome in. Daisama says yes. Okay, you guys can hear me. Great. We're going to get in some trucking news here in just a minute. 614,000 drivers might exit trucking, aims Trump's immigration crackdown analysis. We're going to read about that today, you guys. What do you think of that? Thank you for the gifter badge, the number 3 gifter badge. I appreciate it. Blaze, welcome in, welcome in. How you doing, brother? How you doing? How you doing? We're going to accept cookies over here. Let's get into it. 614,000 drivers might exit trucking amid Trump's immigration crackdown analysis. President Donald Trump's English language mandate for drivers, DOT's new rule, tightening rules for non-citizen drivers, and serious immigration enforcement on the interstate. What do you guys think about that? It might push as many as 800,000 CDL holders out of commercial truck driving, according to the study written for JB Hunt by Noel Perry of Transport Futures. What do you guys think of this? Come on, let's hear it in the chat. How's it going, everybody? Welcome in. I appreciate everybody being here. Let's see, we got Rafa Magna 81 in the house. Welcome. Blaze is in the house. Welcome. We got Sukden Singh Hai. I hope I said that right. Welcome, brother. We got ND732. Welcome. We got Glam 2025 joining. Welcome, sir. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. Let's see. We got Phantom Dog. Or Fat Dog. Sorry. What's up, Fat Dog? How you doing, brother? Whoopsh. How are you doing? Okay. In the Trump administration, let's see if you can see that. Nope. Okay, cool. In the Trump administration, its success is all its immigration-related programs. It would reduce the driver population by almost 16%, or 614,000 drivers, wrote Perry. Perry's analysis predicts major impacts on trucking capacity, like bigger than the 2017 ELD mandate for recent regulatory actions. Another analysis says realistically year-end 2026 might see a market that was like 2021 with big freight rates running up. So everybody go get your preventative maintenance done, get your tires done, get ready to make $5, $6, $7 a mile. What do you guys think of that? Road runners about parking lots emptied of non-domicile CDL holders, and big things are on the way. Among some of truck insurance and brokers, if they've ever heard of the rule change, there it is. So imagine that, you guys, 614,000 drivers gone like that within a year. Imagine 614,000 drivers gone. Holy smokes. Dude, how insane would that be? Rates would go up. We wouldn't have to worry about parking. What do you guys think about that? 614,000 drivers. What do y'all think? Let's see. We got Ghost Trucker says Sean Duffy says we have plenty of American drivers, so no myth of shortage of drivers. That's right, Sean Duffy. Let's go. I'm gonna make some good videos about that tomorrow, actually, of the ATA whoosh, versus Sean Duffy. What do you guys think about that, huh? Finally, somebody in government that's fighting for us. Seems like Sean Duffy is fighting for us. YouTube, welcome in. How are y'all doing? I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Phantom Dog says outstanding. Outstanding. That's right. Sean Duffy, if you see this, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. It is nice to finally be heard as a truck driver. Man, is it nice to be heard. Finally. Everybody, welcome in, welcome in. If you can please share this live, I would greatly appreciate it. We are trying to get into every single truck in the United States of America. What we are doing here at Truckers Unite Now is we are trying to save the industry, okay? The American truck driving industry. We care about truck drivers. We care about their families. American truck drivers. We care about the middle class. We love the middle class. We love America. We love the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence. Thank you so much for the gift. I really appreciate it, Alq. Thank you. And that's what we're doing here. We are saving trucking one driver at a time. We're not playing games anymore. By the way, we will be going back to DC in December because February 5th, Truckers Unite Now, that's over on Facebook also with a business account, will have over 100 subscribers and our 60 days will be up to where we can go live. I tried to go live today on X also, but we were unable. So that's okay. We're just gonna read with our iPad. We're gonna read some trucking news. Let's get into it. All right, let's see. Noel Perry reasons his nearly 16% of driver drop by making a few assumptions based on public data. Overdrive caught up with Perry, who said that much depends on enforcement. But in any event, recent regulatory action at DOT is a really big deal. Immigrants, legal and illegal, make up 20% of the U.S. population, he writes, though other estimates peg the numbers around 15%. Their shares of difficult work is doubled higher, ranging from 25 to 40%, depending on the sector. Perry told Overdrive that 25 to 40% was his own estimate. Overall, the paper settles a conservative estimate of 25% for immigrant and truckers in the analysis. So, man, 600,000 drivers gone. How cool would that be? Here, let's drop this so you on YouTube can see me a little better. I don't know if that helps. Cool. We're rocking and rolling, guys. I'm glad you're here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You guys are beautiful people. You are amazing Americans. I love you guys. And oh my gosh, thank you, Bluegrass. I really appreciate it, man. This is an amazing live. Man, you guys are great. I really appreciate you guys. I'm in San Diego today. I am literally on the border pretty much of Mexico right now. I'm delivering. I had a 5-stopper, you guys. I had Palmdale, Thousand Oaks. Let's see, Palmdale, Thousand Oaks, Culver City, which is basically LA area, right off Slauson, Rancho Cucamonga, I forget the 5th one, but my 6th one's here in San Diego. I think it was Carson. I want to say Carson. All right, other trucking news. Let's go back. We're going to read something else. Bluegrass says, be safe. Yeah, trust me, I have all the tools I need, brother. If you know what I mean. I have all the tools I need. I tried so hard to get unloaded tonight, and I told the guy that. I was like, man, I really don't want to spend the night here. Like, I'm literally like a half mile from the border, and I'm not too happy about it. But what do we do? What do we do as truck drivers, right? Anyways, all right. We are going to read. That was business. Trucker of the Year. Trucker of the Month, John Penn, reaps 10 miles. Now, this is kind of hard for me to believe. I don't know if you guys read this in Overdrive. John Penn reaps 10 miles to the gallon plus rewards of two decades learning and growing. A little hard for me to believe, but hey, I'm not going to knock anybody's success. So let's read about it. Penn's moment about fuel mileage before he was ever a truck owner ultimately served a clear goal of building maximum efficiency. Indiana headquarter owner-operator John Penn is making a name for himself among his peers for a drive to excel in fuel efficiency and management of customer-related for steady business. Penn is the October Truck of the Month, putting him in the running for Overdrive's 2025 Trucker of the Year award. That's very cool. Congratulations to you, John Penn. Owner-operator John Penn, his truck with authority at JP Transport headquarters in Indiana, Orleans, Indiana. The owner-operator has been in business for more than a decade now. Okay, so he's got at least 10 years, at least 1 million miles, with steady improvement in performance over the time on both the cost and revenue sides of the profit equation, particularly the former. You know, a lot of these guys, though, like we're going to read this story, a lot of these guys, what they do is they say, I get great fuel mileage, but they're going from like Laredo to Dallas back and forth, right? No mountains, or it's like, you know, they're going from, I don't know, Reno to Salt Lake, right? There's just a few hills, and they're saying, I get great fuel mileage. I get 10 miles a gallon. You can do it too. But, you know, you're running Cabbage Patch, 4th of July. You know, you're going through storms. You're doing a lot of city driving. And so you're barely breaking 8 miles to the gallon. So, you know what I mean? See, Bluegrass says, I need to carry a dog with me. Yeah, no kidding. Rocky, welcome in, brother. How you doing? I do need to carry a dog with me. That would not be bad. See, Trucker for Life says slow motion. Bluegrass says be careful. I will. Thank you. Thank you. Good deal. All right, let's see what else we got on Overdrive, you guys. Today's just kind of a chill night. I'm exhausted, so I don't really feel like getting into too much politics. But if anybody wants to come up, I'd love to have you. Go ahead and just request to come up if you're interested in coming up and talking to me. Let's see what else we got here. Just give me 1 second here. Let's see what we got. Blue Parrot XP. No. No. Mr. Monroe, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. Court halts CARB OEM's Clean Truck Partnership as dueling lawsuit pays out. You guys know about that. CARB blocking from enforcement Clean Truck Partnership as litigation plays out. Litigation plays out. In the ongoing legal battle over the application of the Clean Truck Partnership Agreement made between truck manufacturers and the California Air Resources Board, truck makers got the first win with U.S. District Judge Dina Coggins on October 31st issued a preliminary injunction barring California from enforcing the terms of CTP. The CTP was a commitment for OEMs to meet California emissions standards that required the sale of adoption of zero emissions technology in the state, also offering more timing flexibility in manufacturers to meet the requirements. I don't know about you guys, but I am not having a good time smogging my truck 3 times in California. Daimler Truck, North America, PACCAR International Motors, and Volvo Group, North America, sought an injunction in a lawsuit filed in August, I didn't know that, arguing that the CTP was invalidated when Congress and President Donald J. Trump in June disapproving of the Environment Protections Agency waivers granted to CARB for this advancement of clean truck. Well, I'll be darned. The rules to impact truck emissions and sales are going to be a thing of the past soon. The court on Friday ordered that while litigation is pending, CARB is enjoined from the implementation, attempting to enforce, or threatening to enforce the Clean Truck Partnership. So that's good news. You know what, you guys, I think we have a lot of great things coming in trucking very soon. What do you think? A lot of people are getting involved. And I think very, very soon, a lot of things are going to change. What do you guys think? Let's hear it in the chat, huh? What do you guys think? All right, let's see what else we got. Just give me a second here. We're going to try to get on X while we're here. Thanks for coming in. Let's see. Stepchild, thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. ABC 2019, thanks for being here. All right. Truckers 2025 Highway Report Card. Worst roads, states, and worst parking in the country. Intelligent Trucker, welcome in. Thanks for joining. Come on, man. I don't want a free account. Dude, the spam. What's going on, Michael? How are you, man? Welcome in. Big Rig Parking, welcome in. Oh, you're gonna force me to. Okay, it's gonna try to force me. Truckers 2025 Highway Report Card. Worst road, states, and parking. I-70 in Indiana isn't the only major haul route through the state's ranking among the top 10 worst roads in the nation. November 2nd. I think it must be a state law that I-70 bridges must be outfitted with a ski ramp on all approaches with a 15-foot drop. Overdrive readers, speaking to one among many readers, named the Indiana route the #1 worst route in the United States. What do you guys think about that? Overdrive's editors have researched the matter, and we do believe that there is no state law mandating ski ramps, as described by the commenter at the top. Yet the owner-operator wasn't the only trucker to earmark the problem along the I-70 in Indiana in Overdrive's new 20-page Truckers Highway Report Card issued today, October 23rd, 2025. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Dude, why are you making me create a free account? Stop it. No. Give me one sec, guys. Sorry. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. Well, we're done on internet for this. Ugh. I-95 is the worst, huh? I-95 is the worst. I kind of feel like I-40 is the worst. What do you think? You feel like 95 is the worst? Anything on the East Coast, though, is zero fun. Thank you for the follow. Sheikh Amaran, hello, how are you? I see your hand. Michael Israel, how you doing? Let's see, if anybody wants to come up, you can go ahead and invite to come up. Thank you for the heart me, appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. We're also live on YouTube. Welcome in everybody on YouTube. How are you doing? Thanks for being here, appreciate you guys. Let's see. All right. Let's see if this is gonna work. Equipment. Oh, here we go. CARB sues truck makers. ICE Indiana raid brings illegal alien truck driver arrests. All right. October 31st, 2025. Talk about the view on immigration. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Two Tiger says talk about the views that immigration are not allowed to drive school trucks. I did hear that. I did hear that too, Tiger. What do you think about that? I don't know. I think anybody that's illegal, if you've committed an illegal act, I don't think you should have privileges. You know what I'm saying? I think we all have to follow the rules. We are a land of laws, and we must follow the rules, the laws, or change the rules and change the laws, right? So that's how I feel about that. But it's hard, you know. That's why I'm not a cop, because I don't want to enforce the law and have to have all those sad stories, you know what I mean? So it's tough. All right, let's see. Why is this not working? Give me a sec, guys. Sorry about this. I'm clearing out the last live's BS that we had here. And my internet is not wanting to work. This is awesome. Great. All right. Sorry, guys. I'll be with you in 1 second. I'm trying to move as fast as I can. Here we go. Where is everybody tonight? Michael says, refresh my memory. Where is I-40 highway? Yeah, funny. Oh, Brett. Don't know how you came up, but right on, man. What's going on, Brett? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Hey, can I go over some stuff?
Sure.
You said you've been driving 9 years, right, owner operator?
11 years. Nine is an owner operator. Yep.
Okay, so let me ask you, what was you thinking you were going to make, and what did you base your business model on as far as how many miles you were going to run?
What did I think I was going to make? I didn't do any research when I first became a lease owner operator. I did zero research. I just heard the company that I'm leased to was a great company. I wanted freedom. At the time, I thought that being an owner operator meant having freedom. I had no idea what I was getting into. So what did I think I was going to make? I honestly had no clue. I had no clue.
All right, and here's the thing. All right, I'm gonna give you a little bit of where I started.
Okay.
And what I did. All right, and maybe some other people will listen to this because they flipped the whole game on the lease operator game, and I'm gonna explain why.
Thank you.
The truck. Okay, so in '95, I drove for one of the largest trucking companies in the country. Right. I worked as a company driver for them for 1 year.
Okay.
And I took my numbers for the whole year, what I made, and how much time I got home, and that one year, in that 1 year, I made I run 100,000 miles.
Okay.
Okay. That's about normal.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you start with that number, that's 2,000 miles a week, and that is Monday through Friday. You only work 4 days at 500 miles. That's what that's based off of.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Because our logbook is 70 hours, 8 days, right?
Right. Correct.
So if you take that number and you go 8 3/4 hours a day, you'll never run out of time. So you have to base it off of 8 3/4 hours a day. That's a pre-trip, a post-trip, and maybe a fuel, and you got 8 hours of driving at 60 miles an hour if you can average that. But just say 450 miles.
Right.
Okay. That's your number for the whole week. You're going to be around 2,000 miles. Now, I did my paperwork for the year. And if I was an owner-operator then, doing that same job, as a company driver, I made $40,000. As an owner-operator, I made $128,000.
Wow.
And after I paid
well, wait a minute. Are we talking gross or net here, though? Because a lot of guys come on here and they always say gross. I'm always net. I always say net.
Okay. All right. Well,
personally.
I'll tell you the net. All right. Gross was 128.
Okay.
Net was 80,000.
Okay.
I doubled the company driver's pay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Did the same job, run the same miles, same everything. Now, fuel cost back then 80 cents a gallon.
Okay.
Truck payment. All right. So anyway, I made 80,000. I was bringing home like 1,600 a week. That's in '97. 97 and a half, I bought another truck, put another driver in it, paid him $1,200 a week, and I took home $500. Okay.
Sounds pretty good for 97.
Okay. So in '99, diesel prices went from 80 cents to $2 overnight.
Okay.
As an owner-operator, we could work 3 days a week and make more than a company driver.
Right.
These companies didn't like it. Freight wasn't getting moved because we were almost back to the 70s where we made enough money to support our families and everything. The same company that told me in 96 that I couldn't lease a truck from them because I didn't have $10,000 to put down. That's the way it used to be. They didn't want owner-operators. They wanted a company driver.
Sure. Yeah, because they want to make money off you, of course.
Well, here's the thing y'all don't understand. Even they make more off a lease operator back then, even though they were paying me twice as much as a company driver, they still made twice as much money off of us than they make off of company drivers.
Wow. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because they got no liability. All they got to do is give you freight.
Right.
They don't have to worry about you going on vacation. They don't have to worry about health care. They don't have to worry about paying your Social Security. They don't have to worry about paying your taxes. That saves them 35% right there just in Social Security and taxes.
Right.
That's why we got paid twice as much but we had our freedom to go home when we wanted to.
Right.
Okay? So when the diesel prices went up, the same company that said, if you don't have $10,000, then that's not a good business model for us to lease you a truck. That same company, when the diesel prices went to $2 overnight in August of 99, if a guy had been there for 2 months, they said, you want to lease a truck? No money down.
Wow.
And now it was over because the price, that driver was going to make less than he was going to make before as a company driver. But they sold the story to y'all. And now it doesn't work because the operating cost, my truck payment back then was $2,000 a month. Truck payments today are $36,000 to $4,000.
Yeah. There's a lot of different factors today, though, that's going into a lot of this. The flooded market with the immigration, cheap labor, you know.
No. Here's the problem. The American truck driver, when my operating costs went up and I'm trying to get more money, and then they start leasing trucks to you guys that don't know what the hell you were doing.
Right.
Y'all drove my wages down. I couldn't get my wage increase then. Y'all were running illegal to try to make money. And you've been running illegal. There's not one truck out here, and I'll guarantee you, I will give you $50,000 if you let me put an air tag on your truck. If you accept that and you run legal, you will not make any money. Agreed?
There's so many different factors that you're talking about here. Everybody's in a little bit of a different position, right? So I don't know if I can agree with you on that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the company. I don't know what type of trucking you were doing. There's so many different factors in what you're saying. I don't run illegal. You can put an air tag on my truck. The last 9 years. Yeah. Yeah. And I run about 3,200 miles a week. Legally. This is true. I never go home. Correct.
Okay. Well,
I max out my hours. Yes.
Okay. Right. And how many? You run 3,200 miles in 7 days, right?
Correct.
You know what that equals out to?
About 125,000 miles a year.
Well, it equals out to 430 miles a day. So yeah. Because 7 times 4 is 2,800.
Wait a minute. 65 miles at 65 miles an hour, 10 hours a day is 650 miles. So.
Okay, but you can't. But it's 8 3/4. You run out of time. You said you run 200 miles a week.
You're talking about recapping, or what are we talking about here?
Are you recapping?
No.
You're doing a 34.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you start on Monday and you take a load and you go Monday to Tuesday, that's 500 or 650 miles.
Okay.
Tuesday to Wednesday is 650. We're at 1,300 miles.
Okay, agreed. Yes.
Okay, double that, that gets you to Friday. That's 2,600 miles. Now, then you go into Saturday, and you got to run another 500 miles to get to your 3,200. Now, you're at 56 hours. Now, you have to take if you shut down by 8 o'clock, you can start Monday morning at 6 o'clock. But you're not going to, but every day has to be a max of 650.
Yeah, that's easy to do if you're not goofing off.
Well, what about if your load
That's
goes
not
400
hard.
miles? What if your load goes 400 miles?
But I'm not exactly following. What is your point overall?
In 1997, I made 80,000 running 2,000 miles a week. Okay.
Okay.
I made 80. That's 80 cents a mile. Okay.
Okay.
I made $1.20 back then. Okay, 100,000 miles, 2,000 miles a week, 128, $1.20 a mile in 97. 80,000 take home. What's your take home now? What's your margins?
What's my net a year or a week?
What's your net?
My net a year is about 140.
You net 140?
I net about 140, yeah.
So 140.
But I also, so again, it's different for everybody, right? So I have about, okay.
Y'all don't get it. So you never go home. I went home every weekend when I was making 80,000. Y'all should adjust it for inflation. That number is now 170.
Rocky, are you getting this?
Huh?
Are you getting this, Rocky, or?
He's got me. No, I'm lost.
I'm completely lost too.
But I don't agree that with like the running illegal and stuff, because you can
Sure.
make a pile of money running legal.
Of course you can.
I know right now that many guys. I don't have any trucks anymore after 31 years. I haven't had a truck in a year now. I quit dealing with drivers and all that. But I've got many friends still in it, and I have a very good friend of mine for about 28 years that is netting in the 160, 165 range. And when he comes home about every 5 weeks, he's home for 8-10 days, and he goes back out and comes back, and he stays home 8-10 days, 2 weeks, whatever, and is back out. And he's netting after all expenses with a 2018 579 Peterbilt that he's got, and truck's paid for. He has his own trailer, but it's parked because he's with Landstar also, and he does some stuff that he has to use one of their trailers for because he's dropping hook kids. So
like preloaded trailers or something, yeah, right. Preloaded freight. So yeah,
he's doing some. He gets on some high value stuff and moves some of that, but it's different for everybody depending on what they're doing with their application. Just like myself, when I was hauling cars back in 1995, 97, 99. Back in 99, when fuel went to $2 a gallon, brother, I was home every weekend running 2,400 miles a week, and we were grossing $450 a year. Okay.
Right.
Now, there's guys now with car carriers that aren't doing that, but the market is also saturated with auto carriers now, where it wasn't then. And, things changed a lot, but there's still a bunch of money, and in just about every field, there's a bunch of money if you don't run the boards for your lifeline,
Yes.
How much were you getting hauling cars, Rocky?
Oh, man, it was pretty easy back then a lot of it was paid per mile per unit. Yeah, and the size of the vehicle, like we hauled a lot of mostly Toyota, Lexus, Mercedes at that time.
Out of Florida?
Out of Florida, yeah. And
in Brunswick, or no, Jacksonville for Mercedes, and
yeah. But Mercedes is in Jacksonville, is in Brunswick now. They're not in Jacksonville anymore.
Right, so did you run for Fleet Car?
No, I ran a little bit of stuff with them, but I was mostly with Centurion and back then Proficient, and then I had my own numbers here for a few years, and that wasn't worth it.
I got you. I know Proficient. I used all BMWs out of Greer.
Yeah. We moved a lot of BMWs out of Greer, a lot of stuff for Wagoners, which isn't even around anymore.
Yeah, that's who I was with.
And then when Hanson started hitting the East Coast real hard, coming and bidding on stuff and growing here in the East Coast, and a handful of others, just competition drove prices down.
Yep.
Why would that happen?
Well, it's just competition, just like when you go to buy a car. If you go to buy a car, you get numbers from one dealer, and you go to another dealer and get numbers. The competition, you show these numbers to that dealer and these numbers to this other dealer, it drives price down. It's no different with trucking. When you have more trucks available, rates drop when there's less to move.
No, see, I have a supply and demand on my side. Is if I get less miles, I need to demand more money.
Well, that's
demand.
what I anyway, I always wanted less miles and more money. So
now that's the business model. That's what we're all supposed to be doing. Less empty miles, right? Between loads, of course.
Well, see, all loads used to pay round trip. All loads still pay round trip today.
Not you could close to get round trip mileage on was when I hold truck chassis also for years with the low boys and doing the cabin chassis and all that.
Yeah,
that stuff. I mean, there's only so much of that stuff.
It sounds like, Brent, you have a lot of dedicated freight, or your company has a ton of dedicated freight. I used to do PetSmart, right, out of Reno to Salt Lake and back. And you're right. A lot of the time we would come back empty. Sometimes we would have dunnage. Sometimes we would have other loads. But Petco paid us to come back empty every time. But that's super rare, I think, especially for an owner-operator or lease owner-operator.
That's the way it was always done. But y'all... See, here's the trick on this. I was hauling air conditioners out of Tennessee, going to Florida, and Texas, and New Jersey, and it paid $6 a mile on every load.
Wow.
That's $3. That's $3 a mile if I come back empty. Okay,
Right.
but I always got a backhaul at $2.30. Okay.
That's
so
great.
My average was $3.30 a mile.
Man, that is great.
Well, it was so great that the company I was leased to said that's too much money. They started taking the fuel surcharge and subtracting it from the load. And like, so the load paid $6, right? My fuel surcharge got up to 80 cents. So the load paid, I should have got 70% of 420 or 520, which was like 370 plus the 80 cent. I should have been at 450. What they did was they took $1 off and made it $5 a mile. Then they subtracted the money, the fuel surcharge from that, gave me 70% of that low number, and then turned around and put the fuel surcharge back on, which then out of the 80 cent, I only got about 20 cents.
So it sounds like another clever way to try to scam you, kind of. Is that what you're saying? Well, that's what I'm doing here. That's how this whole channel started. That's what we're fighting for here, is just a fair roundabout for everyone, Brent. Not just you, not just the broker. I want to see everybody win, dude. That's my heart. I want to see us all win, man. I don't want to see just one of us win. I don't think that's American.
You got to get away from mileage pay. And this is why.
Because we've been taught that.
They can sit you for a day and you don't make no money. They can give you a short load on mileage pay and it don't pay enough to cover your bills that day. If we put them on an hourly basis, okay?
So who are you going to put on an hourly basis? A company driver or an owner-operator that is his own business working with another business? Because you can't make a business, you can't pay a business hourly, right? There is no broker, no shipper, no
Well,
other business that's going to pay my trucking business by the hour.
well, we're a free market, right? So Rocky, you start a business, I start a business. Can I come to your house and force you what you're going to pay for alignments or what you're going to charge for alignments? I mean, are you going to force me what I can pay for my? I mean, this is America, right? That's the problem, right? We're a free market.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And when you're an independent business, you're in the free market. And you know,
Yes.
if the federal government made an hourly minimum wage for truck drivers, then that would apply to company employee drivers. It would not apply just to like Vince or with me when I was with Landstar. I contracted to Landstar, right, with my trucks, my equipment.
Yeah.
They don't pay me by the hour. I work as much as I want to, as little as I want to. I take a load or I don't take a load. Did what I wanted to do, go home for 8 months. It didn't matter as long as I paid my red file. Okay, so they can't pay you by the hour as a contractor.
Yes, they can.
No, they can't.
Well, okay, let me ask you, what was your rate per mile?
I could go back in. I'd have to bring my other computer back over here, my Windows machine. I just got a new computer up here, and pull up everything. But I could go back through the last many years and pull up everything that we've done. But when I was with Landstar, man, I was doing $330, $340 a year. Okay, gross revenue.
Okay,
as an average.
So you were making $100 an hour.
No, I don't know what I was making an hour. I know
you can only work 3,000 hours in trucking a year.
So, but that was gross revenue. So net revenue, that kind of depended because I had a lot of stuff that I could write off. That so you'd always write off more than what you had, a bunch of stuff that brought your numbers down, so you could pay Uncle Sam a little less tax money there.
Right. So you were getting $3 a mile.
I pretty much stayed above that. I had stuff that I ran that was a lot more than that, a lot of it.
Okay, so I can tell you this right now. I can go to Landstar. They were paying you $180 an hour. Okay.
Well, Landstar doesn't pay you anything. You're contracted through Landstar to find agents or brokers, and you create a number that you're willing to work for with the agent or the broker. So Landstar doesn't pay you anything or the broker anything. The agents are contracted. They go get their customers, they get their shippers, and then a BCO, right? A lease owner operator will call this agent and they'll negotiate a price per mile, right? Or a price for the load with accessorials, fuel surcharge. There's a lot of things that go into it, Brett. And it's at Landstar, like many lease owner operator companies, there's dedicated, there's the open load board, there's so much to it, right? Flatbed, dry van, reefer, specialized equipment like what Lee and Lisa do. There's just so much to it.
You've got RGNs, you've got guys with 5-axle flatbeds, extendables. There's so much variation.
Just a basic dry van.
Yeah, a basic dry van. Well, there's guys at Landstar that are starving every day, and then there's others that are doing really well. Okay, it's not Landstar's fault. Landstar is equal opportunity. They are not equal results. You have to go work and learn and everything to get into the good stuff. Just like when I first went to Landstar, I was fortunate enough that another guy that I worked with for a long time, another third-party company that had some contracts with Landstar Freight and agents, and I was able to meet a bunch of agents long before I leased to Landstar. So when I went to Landstar, I was already familiar with these agents, and now I was just working with them direct instead of under somebody else. So that helped a lot, but I built relationships. I went to all the BCO days. I went to all the events. I would stop and meet agents that I had worked with, and I would use those same 4, 5, 6 agents all year long, and I would look at the load board probably 3 times a year to get a load. They called me, hey, where are you at today? Oh, I'm not there today, but I'll be up in that area Thursday. You have something Thursday? As a matter of fact, I do.
But you earned that, Rocky. That didn't just come to you. You earned that through what you did and how you acted. That took years to
Right.
build that. Yeah.
Yes, it takes a long time to build that. So I didn't pull off the board. The stuff on the board is the leftovers. And so the stuff that I would haul, some stuff, Moreno, Ohio to Claycomo, Missouri, to the Ford plant, was 601 miles door to door.
I've been
Right?
there.
It was a round trip, okay?
Yeah.
And it was a light exhaust part load going out, and it was empty racks coming back. Well, it used to pay about $5,600 for that 1,200 miles. That was pretty damn good turnaround. It was light, it was easy, straight across and back, right? So, not everybody got to do that stuff. These guys, you had to be on time. You had to have reliable equipment. Yes, you had to pull a Landstar trailer. You didn't want your own trailer pulling that stuff because they put more holes in the damn roofs than anybody I ever seen with those racks when they would unload them and load them. But not everybody got that. And everybody wanted it, but you had to work with these agents and build a relationship to do that stuff. And that's how you got that. I used to do some tours, and the last tour I did with an agent ended in Nashville. And after that, I dead-ended my ass home. And, the tour stuff, my trailer was set up with belly boxes and straps and pads and everything else. I would do some tour stuff. So
Yep. Yep.
And in the wintertime, when the weather was nasty, guess where I would go? I would take that load that paid top dollar into that nasty area and come back out when everybody else wanted to stay south of 40 making a peanuts. I was up there making the gold coins in the candy bag, So,
It's like holidays, Rocky. My family, my kids, they don't know Christmas as December 25th. They know Christmas December 27th or December 23rd because I want those big dollars over Christmas where other guys won't run, right? You gotta find your niches of what other guys won't do, don't want to do, or aren't good at, and you are.
right.
So
Yeah.
Brett, it sounds like you kind of got taken advantage of there a little bit, and that's what I mainly talk about here. I'm not talking about the guys that are doing great. I think probably 30% of this industry, they're doing fantastic. They're making $4 or $5 a mile. That's not what I'm here for personally. I'm here for more rounded edge. I'm here for the single mom that's losing her house and she doesn't know how to do anything, and she's getting taken advantage of by a mega carrier that just wants to pay her garbage, or the immigrant that's come over here that's getting $500 a week. He's being taken advantage of. He's not a trained professional. People like that, Brent. Like me, I'm doing okay. I mean, obviously we could all do better, right? I feel that we all not deserve. I feel like we've all earned a lot more than what we're getting. But that is so complex. I'm learning. It's like when I first got into this, even Rocky's helped me and pointed me towards a lot of different directions of like, what do you call it? Deregulation. He had me watch a video on deregulation, and that just blew my mind. What blew my mind more is that I have 1.3 million miles, and 99% of this information that I know in the last 60 days, I didn't know the last 11 years. That's crazy. That's crazy. Rocky, it's wild.
It is. I mean, you talked about it before, and one thing that I tell everybody, first thing I'll ask a guy when they start complaining, and I'm working on their truck or something, when they start complaining about rates, I'll say, hey, what's your 90-day fuel mileage average? What's your fuel cost for the last 30 days? They don't know. Okay? You can't go out begging for more money when you don't even know what it costs to run your business. You should have an accounting a spreadsheet or profit gauges from Let's Truck is very cheap and very easy to use. I used it for years from Kevin Rutherford. And it's cheap, and it was just simple and easy, and it broke costs down to the mile. It would take you about 15 minutes a month to enter all your settlements, and you would know to the penny, did I make money this month or not?
Right.
But these guys, they don't really know what it costs them to run a mile. They base everything on miles. They want $5 a mile, but they don't even know what their true costs are. They just throw out a number. Where'd you get that out of? Oh, out of my butt. Well, I know that because they don't have their numbers.
Yeah.
Any business, there's no other business in the country ran like trucking. If all other businesses were run like this, they'd be out of business. because you have to know your numbers. If you go talk to a Mickey D, he knows how much that packet of ketchup cost him and how much a napkin cost.
Right.
Where these
Right.
guys don't know their fuel costs, they don't know anything about their business, they don't know what their maintenance cost is or anything. And we stress that. You need to know your numbers, because when you bought that truck, you didn't just buy a truck and a job. You're a business owner now, and you have to
Right.
treat it as a business. Okay, if you're not going to treat it as a business, park the truck, get rid of it, and go back and drive a company truck.
Yep. Yep. I agree.
Well, I thought that's what he just said he did. He didn't know his numbers. And...
No, I'm saying most guys don't. They have no idea what their numbers are. Almost everybody I talk to that is complaining about rates and this and that, they don't know what their costs are. So they're complaining they need more money, but they don't even know how much money they're making.
Right. So how much, you say you make 140, right?
Average, yeah.
Net?
Net, correct.
Is that before taxes?
That's what net is. Yeah, no, that's after that's after all expenses, after fuel, permits, insurance, truck payment, everything, repairs, saving money. That's just pure profit.
Pure profit.
Pure profit. Yes. But I didn't make that the first 2 or 3 years. The first 2 or 3 years, I didn't make that. I've built a lot of good relationships where I'm at. 30% of my freight, I run about 70% off the board, and about 30% of my freight is dedicated. And it all depends on the year, right? It all depends on the year and different things that are going on, Christmas trees and just different things, right?
So if you put taxes on top of the 140, that means your net after expenses is around 175, 180.
No.
Tax, your self-employment tax and everything that you're going to send to the federal government is typically going to be around 9% of your gross revenue.
No.
Yeah.
No, federal is 10. Social Security is 15%.
I'm talking gross revenue, not your net.
No,
if
I'm
you
talking
take your gross revenue and put 9% of that gross revenue in the bank account to send to the IRS, when you get done with all your stuff,
right,
that 9% is pretty much going to cover your taxes that you owe of your net money.
Brett, he's talking about an average, brother. Rocky's talking about like an overall blanket average.
You're 140.
Yeah.
You're going to pay taxes on that. It's going to be around.
So.
Does your state have a tax?
No. State of Nevada does not have a tax. And 140 is after taxes. I make about 140 net, which means that's after everything. Okay, so taxes are above that, my truck payment, fuel, expenses, maintenance.
So you're $3 a mile.
I'm about right at about $3 a mile. Now that's pretty good. Wow, okay.
I know the numbers.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Yes, I'm at about $3 to $3.50 a mile. Correct.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. If you went home for 100 days a year, what would you make?
If I went home for 100 days a year, net?
Yeah.
I don't know, 90, 80? I don't know. I've never had that luxury since the first kid came out and I said I do to the wife. For 15 years, I haven't had that luxury, so I wouldn't know. All I know is to work 70 to 90 hours a week.
And that's also part of being a business owner, Vince. When you own the business, you go work when it's there. Okay?
I can't stop. Yes.
You can't, when you own the business, you can't just park it for 100 days a year.
That's correct.
When it's there to keep that business afloat.
That's correct.
So do y'all not budget in 2 days a week off like every other human being?
I mean, when you're a business owner, Brent, you can't really factor that in unless you have some great contracts. I mean,
there are some that go home every weekend. I'm home every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the last couple of years.
But I budgeted in.
But I still work. I still work Saturdays and Sundays. When my customer needs me, I show up.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to answer your question on that, Brett, because You know, like I just took 6 days off, and I'm doing absolutely fantastic. By next week, I'll have Christmas done. You know what I mean? I'll have $3,000 in Christmas gifts done. Done. Right? All my bills are paid. We're doing okay. We're doing pretty dang okay. But that might not be the case in January. In January, I might only get 3 days the whole month at home. So for me, it's all over the board, brother. I can't give you an exact answer of the weekends off. I don't even know what that means as a lease owner operator, as a business owner. I don't know what that means. 2 days off a week. That's hard. You know.
When I took
Right.
2 days off, your number, your 90 grand, is what I made in 1997 going home every weekend. You're making the same money today as I made back then.
I agree with you. That's why if you look at all my videos, I say company drivers should make about $175,000 a year, and this is just my opinion and mine alone.
Where do you come up with that number? Where do you come up with that number?
Well, in the 1970s, guys were making $35,000. If you exchange the currency rate from 1970 to 2025, it's 175 grand. 30,000 then was 175 grand. Just like the roof over your head, whether you pay rent or mortgage, was about 12%. In the 80s, it was about 20. In the 90s, it was about 25. Today, it's like 70%. Your roof over your head. My kids might not own a home. I mean, who knows where it's going? Inflation's up 30%. How are you doing? Are you doing okay with all this inflation?
Inflation is not up 30%.
You don't think it's up 30%?
No, from 1970 to today.
I just did my taxes I was behind on my taxes for 4 years, right? It's a long story. I got hit by a drunk driver. My son has been really sick for like 3 years. So long story short, I've been behind on my taxes, but I just got my 2024 done, and I did my 23 and my 22 over about the last 4 months. And I can tell you this, every single year since 2020, my chains have gone up like $5-6. Hell, just cat scale has gone up like $2 a year, where it used to go up like a quarter a year over the last 15 years since I've been in the industry. So I disagree. I definitely think inflation's at least up 30%.
Hold on a second.
And I don't know if it's up 30%, but I know there's some parts that I use on a daily basis, just aligning trucks and stuff. These shims and stuff that I use that used to be, I used to pay like about 85 cents for an 1/8" shim, like the Freightliner ones and stuff.
Okay.
And now I'm paying over $4 a piece for those.
Wait, and you used to pay how much, and in what year?
About 85 cents.
There you go.
Even just 4 years ago, they were like 92 cents, 93 cents for the 1/8 inch. The 16th inch was 71, 72. And, you know, they're all $3-4 a damn piece now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tie rod assemblies I used to get for $180, right, for a steer axle, just about any of them. Now you're looking at 400 plus.
There you go.
And I replace several of them a week.
Right.
Okay, so Vince, what year in 1970 was the 35,000?
What do you mean? What year? Just that decade in the 70s.
So 1970, it was 35,000.
Average, correct.
Okay, adjusted for inflation.
Correct.
That's 292,000.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected then. So let me ask you a question, Brent. Do you not want truck drivers to make more money? I mean, you're a truck driver, man. Don't you want them to make more money?
Yeah, Vince, but you just want to make.
No. Not just me. Not just me.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You're going for the 140. You're doing great.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. If I was a single man, I'd be doing great. I have 6 dependents, and that's my choice. I get it. My family is my decision. I understand that. But we are paycheck to paycheck, right? My grandfather had 2 kids, and he was able to save up 80 grand for each kid for college. He was able to pay his house off in 10, 15 years. And most truck drivers did also in the 70s, by the way. They paid their house off in 10 years, not 30 years. Okay.
So do you think they could do that at 292,000?
Yeah, of course. If you're talking net, yeah, for sure.
So if you made 35,000, it's equal to 292 now.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
So what kind of rate would you have to get for that?
292. I don't know, $5-6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every mile.
Okay. Well, I was making $3 8 years ago. I've been making $3 average the last 8 years, yet everything's up 30%. So 369, hold on, 30, 60, 90. So yeah, it should be at least up a buck, right? So my rate should be up at least a buck, don't you think?
Yeah. All right.
To
So
match inflation, but it doesn't match inflation. And it's not just trucking, right? It's every industry. I know everybody here knows a nurse, they know a teacher, they know somebody that flips burgers. I mean, it's it's a worldwide issue. It's not even just America; it's the entire world. You know,
y'all haven't figured
this
out
is
the
this is a
problem.
big problem.
No, you haven't figured out. Okay, you remember Henry Ford brought the people in and paid them $5 a day,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Do you know what that adjusted for inflation from then to now?
No, what?
It's $175 a day.
Wow, that's not enough. Not to live in America.
Hold on a second. That man's house back then was $835.
Wow.
Adjusted for inflation, the house today should be $29,900.
Yeah.
That's what that.
My house in 2004, when it was built, was about 230,000. Now it's about 570.
And that's the problem.
It's just everything,
It doesn't. Okay, let me explain something.
That is the big problem.
Okay,
We're losing our way as human beings. It's all about money, corporate greed, stockholders, shareholders. It's getting ridiculous. We're losing our way, man. We're working 80 hours a week instead of enjoying life a little bit.
Okay,
Most people.
So did greed just start in 1970s, or has it always been here?
Greed is always, obviously, it's always been here.
Okay, so
Yeah,
so when
of
the
course.
Pilgrims landed in 1609, and my inflation calculator goes back to 1635. Okay?
Yeah.
From 1635 to 1900, you know what the inflation rate was?
What's that?
1%.
Wow.
From 1900 to 1970, you know what the inflation rate was?
What's that?
291%.
Are you giggling that right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And from
Just checking.
1970 to now, the inflation rate is 2,800%.
So Johnny D just said, my daughter is a school teacher and her health insurance was quoted today for $719 a month. Yeah, see? And you know what? Your daughter, with that $719 a month, she probably is only covered on like 3% of anything that, gosh forbid it, she needs it. You know, she's probably 3% covered. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Everything is just a scam. There's no swag anymore. There's no get-togethers. There's no deals. There's no, hey, let me give you a break. You know, I'll give you a break. It's just everybody is money, 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 money.
Right.
I don't know where we're going.
And because people have to buy $200,000 houses. They're paying, the bank is playing y'all. The founding fathers told you, if you ever allow for a central bank, the corporations that will grow up around them will make you homeless.
Yeah.
And because y'all playing the game with the banker, you're just enslaved. You blew it.
Dual time, Tim. What's going on, Tim?
You gotta get. You're over leveraged. Everybody's over leveraged.
Yeah, yes and no. Like, I agree with what you're saying, but like, you know, if you watch Rocky's friend, what's his name's Chris, right? Chris, Blue Ribbon. Blue Ribbon. If you look at his videos, Brett, go check out Blue Ribbon. His story is powerful, dude. Like, his story of how he got to where he is right now is powerful. It's like, even I notice with my 3 young boys, I tell my wife all the time, if you want them to listen, they're going to have to suffer. You're going to have to make them suffer, because it's like humans, the only way most of us only recognize suffering or catastrophe. That's the major way I learn. My best lessons have been through suffering. Chris's is powerful, Brent. You should go watch it. Like his motor blew. He almost lost his house. You know, he had wife and a kid and the whole thing. And he bettered himself in a terrible situation, in a greedy world, in a corrupt industry. He found a way to better himself. And I'm like maybe 70% of the way where he is with that. But even like Rocky and Chris and a lot of other people have gotten me just in the last 2 months to do better as a driver, to look better, to talk more professional, to communicate better, to stay more informed, to communicate better with shippers and receivers. And it's amazing, man. I just got a 6 drop that was supposed to take me 3 days. I got it done in a day and a quarter, a day and some change. I shouldn't even be done till Wednesday afternoon. I'll be done tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. because of my attitude, because of having a good attitude, not that shitty attitude. Yes, I'm a day early, but you need to unload me, drop the gate on my trailer. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay, yeah, we'll see you in 2 days, driver. You can park over there, you know. As a matter of fact, there's a truck stop 3 miles down the street that way. You can go over there.
So till Wednesday, you know.
Till Wednesday, exactly. Yeah.
So how fast does freight move, you know?
65 miles an hour.
As fast as you're driving the truck, how many tons a day and all that? I don't keep up with all that, buddy. I'll tell you, I work 10, 12, 14 hours a day, sometimes more than that, working on y'all's trucks to keep y'all going. So I don't get to sit down and run through all the analytics of every month and quarter, how many tons of freight have moved, all that kind of stuff. No, we're used to keep up a lot more with that. But, you know, as far as how fast freight moves, that's changed a lot here lately because there's a lot more going on rail than what used to be on truck. There's a lot of areas around the country where they're moving things more regional. A lot of your mega carriers are trying to keep things more regional instead of over the road, because it's better for their drivers. So they're putting all these big distribution centers and warehousing in everywhere. And so much is moving by train. I mean, every day there's another warehouse going up outside of even Jacksonville. You go around the perimeter, they're not putting stuff inside, they're putting stuff outside, and it's going to all the local stores and everything else out of these DCs, you know, within 100, 150 miles now. It's not traveling 600 miles from one to another. It's a lot shorter stuff, and the market has just changed so much over the last many years. The freight market, especially with the cross country stuff, where years ago, man, you could pick up a load from Florida to California. There'd be, you know, hundreds of them a day and back and forth, right? Well, there are still some, but not like it used to be. You know, it's changed. That real long stuff is, you know, not what it used to be. So as far as how fast things are moving, you know, anymore, it's got to be, you know, I don't know how many tons a day are moving right now and how fast or a week, but there's still a ton of freight moving. I mean, you look at all the trucks out on the road and all the freight that is out there. Not all of them are full truckload stuff. A lot of it may be LTL and all too. So when you look at all of it all around with all the different segments of the trucking industry, I don't even know right now how many tons and how fast.
His numbers would be about 22 miles an hour.
Is that the statistic? 22 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're averaging 65 hours or 65 miles an hour in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
So if you pick up at 8 o'clock today, you pick up at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, that won't happen again. Fear. Isn't that funny? Toilet paper, Rocky. Of all things to get in a global crisis, you're thinking about wiping your ass. That's at the top of your list. If you, wow. Well, I mean, buy rice and freedom seeds and medical equipment and food, water. You know, things you actually need: batteries, radios, things you need. Seeds. Yep. Right. Yep. Yep. Because we have too many middlemen. Act 76. Right. Yeah, they don't want that extra headache. That's why the broker became a thing. The broker does a lot of work. I didn't think brokers did a lot of work. I mean, they're working just like we are, man. There's a lot more to it than I thought. There is. I don't think they should be making what they're making. I don't. That's my opinion. But they do a lot of work. There's a lot to it that the shipper doesn't want to do and the driver doesn't want to do. Because if we did want to do it, we could do it. We're already maxed out. Just our hours for driving were maxed out. And then you add owner-operator on top of that, dispatching, making calls, figuring out your taxes, doing paperwork, and just keeping up on your maintenance. I mean, then if you're a family man, you're a father, you're a grandfather, then you got all that, right? I don't want to be a broker. Me? Like just as a truck driver or as a family man, truck driver, businessman? Trucking alone? I mean, if I had to put an actual hours on it, if we just took a week, I'd probably say, I don't know, 13 to 14 hours a day, 5.5 days a week. So, 330 days a year, maybe, ish. I don't know, off the top of my head. You know, just like dispatching, man. When I was a company driver, I didn't think there was a lot to dispatching and booking loads and, you know, talking to the shipper, talking to the receiver, setting up what. I mean, it's time, bro. Everything is time, right? Like, yes, everything's easy if you learn it. Everything can be learned. Unless you're mentally, not like, you can't say the word here on TikTok, but unless you're mentally incapable of learning or reading or writing, everything is, you can learn anything. But everything is time consuming. Like, take alignment, right? You think, oh, it's no big deal. It's just alignment. Well, ask Rocky. He does it full time. He runs a business with alignment. So it's time consuming, you know? Everything is time consuming. Okay. Well, what do you mean? Trucking is 365 days a year, brother. Trucking is every day. Except Christmas and Thanksgiving, maybe, but every other day. Let's say trucking is 363 days a year, yeah. Most places, not all, you know. owner operator, lease purchase, owner operator, lease owner operator. Okay. Got it. Got it. You do pretty well. Do you have dedicated freight? I'm starting to feel it. I know what you mean. Hey, KT, did you have anything else to say, or are you just being quiet up there? Are you wanting to say anything, or are you just... Say it again? Say it again? All right. So don't deal with that broker anymore. Whatever it takes, don't deal with that human being. That's a silly thing. So again, you have human beings that are actually doing the work that generates the money that's made, but the people that are actually making that money, the real existing energy that's making the money, is only getting 40 to 50%, and somebody else is getting it just sitting on their butt doing nothing. We got too much of that going on. I'm not saying you should be successful. If you bid contracts that's taken you years to get them and you form relationships, everybody should be a little more successful if you've done well for yourself. Like Elon Musk. I don't agree with everything that he says or everything that he does, but I highly commend what he's done for himself. It's amazing what he's done for himself. He deserves to have the money he has. He's worked very hard for it, So, I don't know, man. consider would start outsourcing and creating a new type of broker. I think we need brokers. That's what I'm finding. We do need brokers. So it's like when I was younger, right? Having ADHD, I would always try to get everything done myself, right? For example, like one time I was in Portland and I had there were all these pots, like these little pots that were about, I don't know, 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. The whole trailer was full of them, and I had to unload it. And in my mind, I could have, because I'm a hard worker and I'm a fast worker, I could unload this trailer. I think I had like 4 hours to go before they were going to be shut down on a Friday night, right? So good luck going to get my next load. And I didn't want to outsource and hire someone because of my pride. I was like, oh, I can unload this 53-foot trailer by myself. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 15,000 bases from Mexico, right, up in Portland. And I started unloading this, and I mean, I worked my ass off, like hardcore, right, for about 2 hours. And I did like 2 feet of the trailer, 2 feet of 53 feet. It took me a couple hours to unload these things, right, for example. So I realized at that point, no matter how hard of a worker you are, it takes people. Like, all of us are limited on one thing. There's one thing none of us can control. One very big thing that none of us can control. That's time. Time in and of itself is going to get all of us. No matter how rich we are, how powerful we are, how good looking we are, time is going to kick our asses. So with that being said, what I'm trying to say is we need more people to make us successful. We can't do everything on our own. We just can't. Now, are there some drivers out there that do it all? Yes. There's some drivers out there that get absolutely their own dedicated lanes, and they have 5 trucks with Sherman-Williams, and they have 4 drivers. They drive 1 truck, and they're very successful. But I don't think many drivers would be able to do that. Maybe 2%. I don't want to do a broker's job. I mean, my thoughts on that too are, again, my whole motto is strengthening the middle class and strengthening America. America first, right? So if we get rid of, I don't know how many brokers there are, 200,000, what are they going to do, right? The more assholes that have a Ford Ferrari means the more assholes, the more millions of assholes that can't pay for their Honda Accord car payment. Does that make sense? The more men out there that have 5 houses, all right, create thousands of guys like me that have a family, guys like you that have families that can't pay their mortgage. Does that make sense? Well, I disagree with that. Yeah. Yes, they do, and that's a problem. That's true. That's true. What do I think employees should do? Well, it's based off what I'm seeing. Yeah. 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 That way, that's all I'm making you. I'm making you 100 grand profit. That's what you're saying on top of my salary. I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that. But I would be very generous. I would be very generous. Okay. Texas Proud says 30%. I think that's great. I mean, I think if you want to have a strong business, take care of your employees and take care of their families. Get that medical benefit. Take care of them. Money's a tool, not everything. again, you can't. I don't understand the question. And took the risk to start the business in the first place. Don't forget, he took the risk. His whole life savings started that business, and he might have lost everything. Hourly rate. So you think we should pair our employees with the business names? How about this, right? Can we just be fair? Can we just make sure that people can survive? Make sure people can make their car payment and pay for the roof over their head? Is that okay? Can little Susie have a little doll on Christmas? Is that all right? Or do we try to exhaust every drop of blood out of your employees? What are we doing here? You know, we're trying to steal everybody's energy. I know. We're trying to steal everything for ourselves. Breathe. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, dude, I fully agree with you. Oh, Texas, I am so sorry, bro. I didn't even know you were the guy. Let me say one thing, Texas, before you say something. I'm going to give you guys a story real quick. I think Rocky's heard this one. My father worked for Savin Copiers back in the 80s. If you guys know what Savin is, or don't know what Savin is, remember when Xerox and Xerox, you know what, Xerox copiers used to be half the size of a refrigerator, right, to make copies? Right, so my dad was a technician. He fixed copiers, and he was really good at it, right? He was so good at it that Savin sent him from Los Angeles, California, over to Tokyo, Japan in the 80s to teach a course to some of the people over in Japan. My father learned at that time when he was visiting Japan, he learned that the Japanese have a saying. It's called, when you hire someone, if you're a good businessman, you hire someone to start picking who you want out of high school or college, depending on the trade that they're in, right? You hire them from womb to tomb. I'll say it again. The Japanese hire their people from womb to tomb. What that means is, if I was a Japanese businessman, and let's say I don't know, I had 20 employees, I would hire them straight out of high school, straight out of college, and I would pay them so well that they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to be able to support their families very well. They're going to be able to have a good quality life, go on vacation once or twice a year, Christmas is going to be great. Their food is going to be healthy. They're going to be able to pay their car. They're going to be able to save a little bit of money too while they're at it. When they retire, they're going to have $200,000, $300,000 in the bank if they budget well, of course. And they don't have any drugs or alcohol or gambling issues. Okay, boom, two. Now, I'm going to go up to these employees too, and I'm going to pat them on the back, maybe every 3 or 4 days. Hey, good job. How's your daughter doing? How's your son doing? And if I have more employees than 20, I'm going to hire one guy and pay him $80,000 a year just to go around and make people feel like they matter. You know why, Brent? Because people do matter. We all like to be appreciated, right? I'm not saying stroke my ego, but a data boy once a month would be pretty nice when you're working 90 hours a week, making some guy a lot of money, and you're his product, you're making him a lot of money. You should be appreciated, especially if the skill set is higher than like what Rocky said. Like anybody can flip burgers, whatever, right? That's more like a high school job anyway, right? Or you're in college. So learn to do, brother. Why can't we do that? Do I need a Ford Ferrari, or should I make sure that you have a home and a car? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Emmanuel, I'll bring you up real quick. But Brett, let's hold that thought and see what Texas has to say. Texas, welcome in, brother. How are you? Yeah. My son the other day, he's 14. He went and found some old man. He's helping him clean out his garage. He's getting $25 an hour. Not many company truck drivers even make $25 an hour. Same. My 14-year-old son's making more. My friend, I have a friend that works in Los Angeles for 10 years. I don't like to say companies on TikTok just for reasons, but I think you guys know, Rocky especially probably knows who this company is in Southern California. Huge company. They paid my friend has about 25 years experience. He started at like $30, $31 an hour. He's been there 3 or 4 years now. He's making $34 an hour. Now that's decent, right? For what the market is, that's really decent. Guess what he said 21-year-olds are coming into the industry right now? Or even you or I, Rocky, Brent, years of experience, you come in there, guess what they're paying right now? $20, $21 an hour. This company is paying $21 an hour to move cargo in Los Angeles from the port, from the rail, around Los Angeles. $21 an hour for a professional truck driver. Yeah. I mean, just spit in my face while you're at it. Just tell me you hate my family. I'm saying things like, damn, how much money do you guys need? Yeah. 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 Same here. We're not. Go ahead. Sorry. That'd be great. Wait, let's see what that is. What's 30 times 70? What is it? Yeah, that's not that good. I mean, that's okay. I don't think that's good. Sorry. you're not talking about that kind of stuff. You're talking about carelessness. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, but the last, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, have you heard of any Christmas parties or swag or bonuses or sign-on bonuses? Like, that's all a thing in the past. Why? Why? Yeah, that's New York. Yeah, that'll never happen. I don't think they will. Because making their shit is their work. That's what they manufacture, right? That's what I'm saying about time and energy and like you need more people to help you. Yeah. Yes, and some still do. Some still do. Well, Brad, help me make a wormhole back to deregulation before deregulation. Help me make a wormhole back to the 70s. I'm trying, bro. I need your help. Let's go, Rocky. Get on it. I'm trying, man. The more I know, the less I know. The more I'm researching and learning and educating myself, the more complicated it gets. I used to argue with Rocky. Now I understand 80% of what he's saying. I'm like, shit, he's got a point. How do we fix this? I bet you it was like 120 grand company. I bet you it was about that in the 80s. 120 grand company. Company. All right, Brad. All right, Brad. Let's see. It's Manuel. Welcome in, man. How are you? Let's see what. It's Mel. Did I say that right? It's Mel. Ishmael. How you doing, man? Welcome in. What's on your mind? Well, that's why the federal government. That's why the federal government came up with 371.3 broker transparency, so that the carrier could know. Well, thank you, brother. Hold on, hold on. Let him finish. Let him finish.
None of us can. You're doing great. Just be open. Be honest. You're doing fine. Changing DOT numbers en route, forever clocks. Yeah. Sure. Is your family here, Ishmael? Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Right. Well, hell, my school was bad 11 years ago. Ishmael, when I received my CDL and I went after schooling, I went to go to my first job. I didn't even know how to hook up a truck to a trailer. I kid you not.
So here's the thing. The rates in 1979, this is say hypothetical, they were $2 a mile, right?
Okay.
Adjusted for inflation today, that's $8.95 a mile. Which is not going to happen. And Brent, you keep comparing it up from the 50s, 60s, 70s. Yeah. We're in 2025. That shit don't matter. Because there ain't nobody going to do nothing about it. Then you do something about it. You can't do nothing about it. Right? Let me explain something to you. I took a lot of Red Bull from Atlanta the other day from the manufacturer to the place that's going to distribute it, right? I asked the man, I said, how much are you going to sell a case of that for? He said $55 a case. You know how many cases I have, Rocky? 3,000 cases. That's $150,000.
That's what I say. Yeah. How much are Oreo cookies per shipment? Yeah. How much are they per shipment?
That's my thing. So you take that $155,000. I delivered a load of tires from Nashville to Birmingham, Alabama. Guess how much that retail was?
How much?
$180,000. Now, that's more than my truck makes in the whole freaking year, Rocky. So you want to tell me the rest of the year I'm delivering you for free? The shipper, the people that are making the widgets, and they say I make purple widgets, okay? And I make 500,000 of them a day and ship 50 tractor trailer loads a day. Yeah. All right? I don't want to deal with you guys calling me all day long. I walk around the truck stops. I see what these drivers are. I don't want 500 of them calling me asking me about my loads. So I give them all to a broker. The broker makes a little bit. The shipper is no different than you. When you go to order something online and the shipping is $55 for this damn shoebox, okay? Then are you going to pay $55 or are you going to look for somebody that'll ship the thing to you for $4? You're going to look for somebody to ship to you for $4, not $55. So you can demand all you want, but if somebody else will come in and haul it and ship you that shoebox for $4, you're not going to pay the $55 that the other guy wants. Okay, right? Sure, wants the best deal on shipping that they can get. Are you a real broker, Rocky? No, I'm not a broker. I'm 31 years in the industry, own trucks, small fleet, car carriers, driving and stuff, lease to carriers and everything. And now I don't have any trucks left as of a year ago, and I'm full time alive in suspension business, which I've been doing since about 2002 on long trips.
Rocky, you drove 2 for years, didn't you? You drove.
I drove for 20.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
And then
I thought so.
I drove also while we're having the trucks, small fleet and everything, and I drove also.
Right. Right.
You know, because when you have, if you have 5 trucks on the road, you think you're making it big, and you're not. And then, you have to go work yourself in order to stay afloat.
Right.
I mean, I just wanted to say, like, one more thing. It's not right to not have the money to pay for maintenance on the truck. And like I said before, those guys are able to take the load for $4 just because they don't live here. There are 4 guys in the truck. They don't pay bills. They don't pay for a shower. They have no expense on the state. So whatever they make is a lot of money compared to whatever they were doing on their country. And they are like I said, don't get me wrong. The problem is like these guys are bad for the industry. Like the last 4 years, we have a lot of people get into the industry and they have no idea of the business and how does business work, how much do you need to live on this country, and it is bad to have a gallon of orange juice back in 2016 cost $3 and now it's $7. The cage of eggs it was $6 now it's 15. That's right. I mean, it is something like it is true. We cannot talk about all stuff in the same way it is true. Like things are 10x the price they used to be, and we still have not get a difference on the rates. And a lot of that is because we have a lot of problems. A lot of bad brokers, a lot of bad carriers. We have problems everywhere.
Yep. Let's fix them.
I have a road service on the road. Oh, it's like $1,000 for a tire change. How is that possible? How they come up to charge like $1,000?
Well, they don't care because if they're making a bunch of money and you go out of business.
Because we can't compete with that people that they're not paying whatever you as a citizen paying just for living here. That's my thing. The people who live here is going to the sink because we can't compete with those drivers. They don't have they don't live here. They work here. They just don't live here. Have you ever talked to one of them?
I haven't been able to negotiate. I haven't been able to negotiate in like a year and a half.
Did you ask them how much they make?
How much they make? Whatever they pay on the board. Because
Okay, well,
if you don't do the load, another guy's gonna do it.
I told the guy the other day from Ukraine. He comes over here 9 months a year. He's getting 30% of a load. The truck's making, or 30%. He said the truck makes $9,000 a week. He gets $3,000. An American driver on 60 cents a mile will make $1,800. So how is that driver hurting your pay?
Was that driver hurting my pay?
Yeah.
Oh, they are. Trust me. He might be one. He might be one, but we have a lot of the other Ukrainian guys and Cuban guys. And yeah, remember, I'm a migrant and I have access to a lot of people, and I know how much they're getting for load. How about they might how about what? I'm sorry.
How about we put the blame where it belongs? Doesn't belong on the broker. That belongs on anybody other than the driver. Exactly. The owner, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Let me finish here.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I've been out here for 35 years. As an owner operator.
Old school, you hit your mic. There you go, buddy. Cool.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I did. I apologize.
Yep.
I've been out here 35 years. I work on
70 years. Carol Fuller, yeah. 70 years, 600 employees. Yep.
How much was management? How much of them? How much was yellow bright yellow for that? No, I'm talking about Carol. My whole point is it doesn't matter, right? Who you are out there. You get out there. My truck's been paid for 15 years. I have to make the same amount of money every year. I have to generate the same profit with my truck paid for as if it wasn't paid for. Because you know what? About every 4 or 5 years, I'm going to have to go out and spend $60,000-$70,000
For an in-frame. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a new truck. Okay? 2.5 million miles. I've driven this truck 4 years. I'm not buying a new truck. You can fix my truck. I can save money by putting it out there to the green gun once a week.
Yep. Yep.
Or, excuse me, one of the other places and get it done every I can do it myself. Once a month, somebody else is doing it because I look at it every day. I need a different set of eyes. They're going to see things that I don't see. I need a headlight change. I've changed my own headlight. I'm not going to go into one of these places that a big shop just to get a headlight change, just to get a gallon of oil added. You see? Most people are going to charge you, and they got every right. That building's been there cost millions of dollars. The parking lot costs millions of dollars. The employees cost money. The insurance costs money. The maintenance, the upkeep, everything. It costs these businesses more and more money every year. Why? Go back to where it was the driver. Not everybody. But how many of them throw their drivers out the door in the morning? Throw their bodies out the door in the morning? Because they're too lazy to walk 100 feet to the garbage can. Or when they're leaving, go by the fuel aisle. Drop at the garbage can. You didn't go get a cup of coffee. You didn't go use the bathroom. Where you see it? Not everybody's got a big house like mine. That's the result of where it starts. It starts from the driver and the owner operator. Want to pull freight for $1 mile? You be my guest. I will sit. And if I can't find freight, I got plenty in my pocket. You know, every day, drive 500 miles.
Yep.
Where there's a big square. Maybe I don't make a lot more money, but I went to work for a guy that appreciates me and my family.
If I'm not making money, you're not making money. Period.
Absolutely. I have carriers that I work for, or companies that I work for out of different locations, where I hate their rate. The difference being when I get 500 or 700 miles up the road, and I unload my trailer, a few parts of my drive around the building, and I pick up a load from them, basically 4 times what carrying the product up to get. So overall, for the same company, I'm making good money.
Rocky, you got a message from Turi7387. He says he needs you. He'll pay you good money. I'm assuming for alignment or something. I don't know. Maybe.
Thanks for letting me come up, man. I was had to come save my part. I followed you, and I'm going to have to watch you no more because I was listening to you for a while. You make a lot of sense, man.
Thanks, brother. Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Rest y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir. And whoever threw points to me, I appreciate it. That's not why I'm here. Yeah, me too.
Oh, sorry, Texas. I thought you were done. I didn't mean to hang up on you like that. All right, guys, let's give Miller a chance. She's been very patient. Miller, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good, good. What's on your mind?
Oh, not much. I was just checking it out. I just got back to the truck.
Okay.
And I joined an
Okay, well,
I'm not sure what your YouTube or your TikTok is all about, so I just wanted to kind of see.
right on. So, 6 weeks ago, I drove from Nevada to the White House. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I thought that our president would be able to do something for me. I don't know. I was just desperate, tired of things the way they are. I went and protested for the day, and just started getting a huge following on TikTok. And then from there, I started learning a lot more of like how I got myself in that position. Because it is, right, like old school saying, it always does come down to the individual. It really does. No matter how much corruption is around you, you really can make a difference if you want. But my main goal is to unite American truck drivers, unite their families, and help the middle class stay strong. The way it was similar to the 50s, 60s, 70s. I'm trying my hardest. I would love to see those times come back. Respect, morals, values, just in the industry, truck drivers be a little more clean, talk better, communicate, have a brother and a sister type bond to where like, like in the 60s, 70s, old school could probably tell us, Rocky could tell us, guys that used to like sit at the restaurants and talk, before cell phones, the CBs. Like, I would love to see that come back. And I'm trying my hardest to get involved and save American trucking. I think it's going to shit. And just getting involved.
I got a better deal.
Okay.
How about they pay us 1970s prices again, and we get to buy stuff for 1970s prices.
That's not a bad plan. You know what? If we could reset to that, that would be beautiful. That would be amazing. But unfortunately, there's too much debt. Has anybody seen our debt clock? Has anybody looked at our debt clock?
Man, so we're fine. We got plenty of money.
All right.
Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand how this country was set up in 1933.
How so?
Every child born since 1933, there was $1 million bonded to that child.
Okay. Is that our Social Security number? We're paying it back, right? Our slavery? Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When you work, you pay your taxes, and you pay into Social Security, that pays the money back in. The money you get to work comes from your bond. But they invest the rest of your money. My bond right now is $9.9 million. I looked it up on the Fidelity website.
Jeez.
I can't get that money, but that's what I've created.
Right.
For the taxes I pay. So here's the thing. Every person born since 1933, they're worth about at least $6 million apiece, average. They've got $334 quadrillion in the bank.
Are you talking about
The government didn't steal your Social Security. No, they taught kids in school. Oh, if you put 15% of what they make away, how many millions of dollars would they have at 65 versus the $1,200 a month they're going to get at 65 for the next 10 years they're alive? Okay, well, here's what happened. It was set up at $1 million for every child, right? That's when they set it up. If you average $30,000 a year for 40 years, okay, you would make $1.2 million. You would pay back $200,000 in Social Security. You would pay back another $250,000 in federal.
So have you done that? Or no? Have you done what you're talking about yet or no?
What am I talking about?
Compounding money?
What I'm saying is the money's put back in. They get the money, and if you retire, the 200,000 in Social Security you paid in would grow to $1 million. They could then take that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I believe that could be true. I mean,
Okay, that's what it's set up.
yeah.
When the Republican Party took some gold standard in '71, then we started printing money, and everybody started getting more money, but we were all only given $1 million. Now we're all fighting
Hmm.
Because all of the thing with that entire pile of soup there is that taxation is theft, and I'm tired of giving them bastards my damn money to go piss away. I don't give a shit about any of the rest of it.
Same. Same. I'm tired of.
The damn country is broke, and they want more of my money.
I am tired of.
Somewhere else.
Our tax dollars need to stay here until our people are taken care of. Our tax dollars need to stay right here in America. America first. The 42 million people that just lost their food stamps, you know, I am of that type of person where I want to see everybody work. We all have to work to eat. None of us get a free ride. But I want to see those people taken care of before other countries. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. Whenever I got here in 2016, we have this chance to get food stamps and get like $445. I didn't want none of that. Because I have a head, I have two hands, and I have 2 feet.
Good for you.
So I came here to work.
Good for you.
My wife, the same thing. Same thing. I didn't want her to get any of that. She didn't get any of those checks. Now, I'm not saying like I'm the best or I'm better than nobody, but I didn't like that. And because I'm paying my taxes, and I understand like a lot of stuff that I'm not like I'm not gonna say like I'm American because I'm not. But it hurts. It breaks my heart whenever you see a veteran,
Yep.
not have that attention, and a lot of guys they just got like 2 years
Oh yeah.
old
Yeah.
living in 5-star hotels in New York. That's
Yep.
not right.
Yep. No, it's not.
And I know where I came from, but that's not right. That's not the kind of people that we need here.
But
And this is not racism. This is just not. And I mean, I'm glad to be an American on America because I have the chance to have life that I wouldn't been able to have back in my country.
Okay, the government got money for you too. When you come here, the government got $1 million for you also.
I don't care about that money.
I understand.
I just care about whatever you make, and like I said, like
so you know what the answer is, people? You know what the answer is? We, the people, go tell our 535 representatives that work for us, that we voted in, that we hire, that are our employees. We go and tell them what we want. We go tell them what to do. The government does not own you and does not tell you what to do. You tell the government what to do because you are the government. The people are the government. We, the people. The God Act, right? Connor's Law, like we need to get these things passed.
before I go, like I said before, like I'm really glad to the stuff that you're doing. Like we need this. We need to have more of this because that's kind of the only way that we are get more knowledge of
Awesome,
this
awesome.
business work.
Yes,
Rocky,
I love it.
I'm not like don't get me wrong, mate. I know that you got your point, and like I said, we need to have this kind of conversation.
Yes, hard conversation. Hard start.
Hard conversation. That's the only way that I can go right now to bed having a little bit more knowledge that what I used to have
Awesome.
a minute ago before I get into your
Live.
it's kind of hard because like I said, I never went to school. I never take any kind of classes I learned on my way.
Just be confident, bro. Be yourself. Just be yourself. You're fine. You're fine.
It's kind of find the right words for me sometimes, but yeah, like I said,
learning. As long as you're learning, okay?
and that's the point. That's the point. I get where you're saying like this is a business that you're gonna try to make as much as the profit you can. That's right. It is what it is. Like, but like there are problems. I just wanted to say that we have problems. Like on a lot of real good. And I just pray to get all that back again. That way we can succeed and be being less stressed out. I just want to say that.
Can I tell you one thing, Mister?
Yes, sir.
If you will have your stuff in order,
Yes, sir.
know your numbers, and your maintenance function up, take care of yourself and your family, take care of that guy that you look at in the mirror when you get up in the morning, take care of that guy, get all that stuff in order, and then worry about what everybody else is doing with all this other stuff, okay?
Yeah, right.
Because nobody is going to change that for you except for you.
Bingo.
You to know your numbers of your business, what you need to make. Don't haul anything for less than that unless it's a fill-in load to get you halfway, 500 miles out of somewhere instead of sitting for 3 days. Go take that and get to a better area, whatever. Cover your fuel costs and stuff. Guys don't realize that. They'll say, hey, I used to run loads out of South Florida here back up here to Jacksonville. And I paid $380, and it was recycled cardboard. But I did one of those a week, every week when I came home, okay? At the end of the year, all right, 50 of those loads, okay, or say 42 of them, right? Because I always had a load out of Ohio that I would go get and take me down just south of Tampa. I would go grab this load, and it took 30 minutes to get it loaded, came up here to Jacksonville, it took 30, 45 minutes to get unloaded, load a trailer out, and I was at the house. But every week when I did that, that was $1,600 a month. If I did it 4 times a month, okay, that paid for fuel for one of those weeks out of the month. Did I make a lot of profit on that load? No, I didn't. But I was coming home anyway. So do I come home every week with that load and that extra cash in my pocket, or do I leave it sitting there and take money out of my pocket to come home?
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I decided that I would take that load. Because when I use this thing right here, okay, Chris calls it a BSC 9000, I call it a BSC 5000, all right? When I use this right here, this tells me to bring that $380 load out of there back to Jacksonville where I'm going to anyway, because when I do that 30 times a year or whatever, that is a pile of damn money in my pocket instead of out of my pocket.
Right.
But guys don't understand that. Guys, I'm not taking that.
Yeah, I'm not taking that.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm not going to take it every day, right?
It's too heavy and like wherever I understand, because I'm an owner operator. Thank God I pay off my truck and I have my own truck. I just rented the trailer. I'm waiting until next year and see how the business behaves and how much better I can get on the business to being able to get my own trailer. The thing is, I'm been working hard the last past month, and it's been real good for me. And I'm not saying that it's all bad. It's not that. I'm not saying it's going so bad for me because it's not. It depends how much sometimes how much effort you put into your business and how much you are want to go out there and chase the money. And like you say, I'm not gonna just refuse the load because it's not that great payment. It's just sometimes you have to move to a different area and you have to do that sacrifice. And because even that, it's just that money is paying for your fuel on your next load. It's not sometimes we can like argue it's right or not, but at the same time, sometimes it's how much you want to work. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody who are asking me how good is out there, I just say it depends how much you want to stay out there. Depends how much you want to work, how much effort you want to do, and just, I don't know. Like some people they just want to like
A free ride.
one load and one load a week. It's not a chance that you can be successful with one load a week.
How much you want to make a year?
How much you want to make a year? Good question, mate. Good question, mate. I would at least 90,000 out of expenses, like with fuel and insurance and everything, like take
Yeah, Chad. That's what I'm saying. 200K.
I'm not ambitious. Like I would like to make more.
Just say it. What are you worth, man? We're all worth that.
I don't want to like. I would like to, like I say, I would like to like being able to see my kid grow without like without saying like it's
All right. Well, hey,
like guys.
Ishmael.
I just sometimes don't find the right word to explain myself. That's it's weird.
Yeah. It's so good.
So you want to be able to see your kids grow up and all, and I think all of us truck drivers out on the road went through that. I have 4 kids of my own. I'm currently raising almost 5-year-old grandson that we've had in my house. Me and my wife have been raising since he was 4 days old. So, I know I missed my kids growing up. I missed ball games. I missed holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas time and stuff. Man, I was out on the road running. I was, a couple of buddies of mine, we'd go up and run out of Chicago for the whole month of, November. Weather would be shitty. December, we'd be up there running, but we were up there making money. I sacrificed all of that time.
Yeah.
And then, and lost a lot of stuff. My wife was home back in those days. Y'all talk about the good old days. The hell with them good old days. We didn't have no damn cell phones. I was calling from a payphone with a damn calling card. Right? We didn't have all this electronic stuff. So them good old days, you can take them good old days and shove them up your ass. Because today is much better as a truck driver.
FaceTime.
Technology
Yeah.
and everything that we have for FaceTime and all of that stuff. Being able to see your kid's face instead of hearing a little giggle in the background from a 2-year-old, right? So you can actually get to see
That's
them
a great
while
point.
they're sitting there doing a break or whatever. So,
Yeah.
it is, but it is something. It's not only a job; it's more like a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It has taken me years.
Stuff that boosted lifestyle.
It is a career, but it's more a lifestyle. Okay, because it took me years when I came home off of the road to get used to sleeping in my bed and being able to go to bed every night at 10 o'clock instead of whatever random time I got to go to bed after getting parked and everything, or if I had to run all night with a slow or whatever. Right, and being home, it took a lot of getting used to, and also for my family, my wife and my kids, it took them.
Yes.
They were used to me being home and then walking in the door and saying, "Hey, get all this shit cleaned up." They're used to mom. Well, mom told me I can leave it all out on the floor until I go to bed. But when Dad gets home, it was different. So they had to get used to that also. It is a sacrifice. It's a huge sacrifice. To do what truckers do.
Like you say, like I get into trucking because I really admire the lifestyle the truckers used to have, and I'm just 33 years old. I don't have like I didn't live those times that you are saying right now. I just feel like a lot of respect for all those truckers. They have years on the road, and for me, it's all about respect. I really like to see those times where you don't have people with flip flops on the truck stops, and they really respect the work. They proper dress like they supposed to dress like because
Just be clean. Just be clean. Brush your teeth. Take a shower.
I used to work on refineries, and even that you have to be tucked in and and being clean and shaven because that's what they're expecting from you as a worker, as a professional. And like I said, all from my side, it's all about respect for you guys. And like I said, like this page, Truck United Now, we need to unite and be more proactive about what this trade used to be. Okay, how much we gonna run through there? Me?
No less than $3 a mile.
Yeah. At least.
Let's start there.
On these times.
Three.
On these times.
$3 a mile.
These times. Because just because like we need to be realistic. We can praise for the $5. That's what we actually want. But it's one
Devo
thing
says
we
5.
want, and it's another different thing what is going on right now. And I have loans that are paying that money, but now not every loan pays that.
Well, what is your sacrifice worth? What is your life worth? Because we spend our whole life out here, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
We spend our life in this truck. We sacrifice everything. We have all the anxiety. We take all the risk. Most of the risk.
Don't get me wrong. I try to be like at least $3 a mile, and I have that chance because I'm an owner. That was like, yeah, man. Yeah, but I'm as a driver. Sometimes you can't have a say on what load do you take or not because you are a driver, and that owner or that truck needs to keep that truck moving on the way to him to make money, and you as a driver, same thing. Even though you are working under percentage, you need to work. You need to be on the road to make money, like it or not.
All right, so.
As an owner, as an owner, if I'm not getting whatever I think is right, I can just wait until the next day or later that day to see if I can get that low pays whatever I think I deserve.
All right, Ishmael, let's change gears here for a minute. Let's hear Miller. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Ishmael. Thanks for sharing.
Average freight now. Ishmael, what are you pulling? Are you pulling a dry van, a flatbed, reefer? What are you pulling?
Flatbed.
Okay. Does that change things a little bit? I mean, it shouldn't, but it does. I am so far out of the flatbed stuff that game. I'm pulling heavy haul, so I'm in a way different.
Nice.
I
wonder if Lee and Lisa are still here. Go ahead.
That's good to know.
You should follow Lee and Lisa Miller. They're a couple out of Wisconsin that they do heavy haul too.
Who is it?
Lee and Lisa Schmidt. They know the FMCSA code book like by heart, all 700 pages. They're huge trucking advocates in the trucking industry. Lee does. They actually pull heavy haul also. That's what they do. So they're over the road heavy haul, but they're out of Michigan Wisconsin, and they're on my.
I've never heard of them, and I'm out of Wisconsin too.
Wow, you should definitely hook up with them. Yeah, she's usually here. She's my moderator. Actually, I think she went to bed probably because it's 2 hours ahead. Yeah, I don't see her in the chat anywhere. But yeah, if you ever come in my lives, you'll see her up here. Usually, she's at the bottom, and they're a wealth of knowledge. Like Rocky, they have a lot of experience. Old school. I don't know Old School's background yet. I just met him today, but these are all people that have so much knowledge. I'm learning from everyone as well.
Sure. I'm actually a little new, so I'm not new to this game.
Okay. How many years do you have?
19.
Oh, wow. You're going to teach me then. Well, we all teach each other, right? I mean, yeah. So, but yeah, so to answer your question earlier, basically, I just kind of started on this journey of just advocating for truck drivers and their families, American truck drivers and their families, trying to get as big as I can, not because I want to be big, but because I want to make our lives better. I don't want money. I'm not asking for money. What I want is the ability to make a lot of money. Does that make sense? I want to be able to, just like everybody else. I want to provide well for my family. I want to go on vacation a couple times a year. I don't want to be taken advantage of. So many truck drivers say respect. I don't really care about respect unless we're talking, because respect is earned, right? Nobody just gets respect. You earn respect. By peacefully protesting, right? Debating peacefully, not interrupting or cursing, or that's how, for me, respect would be more like, get me off the dock instead of scrolling on your phone. Don't scroll on your phone for 3 hours. There's 3 trucks off 40 docks, and you're telling me that you guys are busy, but I look over, there's 5 employees scrolling on their phone, right? and I have like an hour and a half to get out of LA at, it's like noon. Traffic's about to start. Just come on, get me out of here, So,
So you're a driver as well.
correct. Yeah, I'm in my truck right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, you got a big bunk.
Well, it's just a freight shaker.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I do this part time now while I advocate for truck drivers and their families while I'm waiting on a load or
Excellent.
yeah. So yeah, and not only that, I've noticed so far just the 6 weeks I've been doing it, like me just now telling you about Lee and Lisa. I guarantee you'll like them. Go follow them. Go check them out. I'm surprised she's not here right now. Hold on. Actually, she might be trying to come up. Oh, no. But anyways, you'll meet a lot of people here. There's a lot of great people here, and I like the hard questions. You know what I mean? I don't like the easy ones. I like people to tell me things I don't know, to tell me I'm wrong, because I don't want to sound stupid, right? Do any of us want to sound stupid? Maybe some of us, but I don't want to be stupid. I want to be educated. So, I'm just trying to learn more and understand it more. And the more I go down these rabbit holes, it sucks because the more I know, the less I know. Right, Rocky? It sucks. It's like, how do you...
I just saw this one comment, most of the time I'm not paying attention, but then this one guy just asked about, are you guys 1099 or W-2? Well, if you're self-employed, in other words, you own the truck, you buy the fuel, you pay the insurance, you pay everything else, you should be 1099. If you are driving a truck for somebody else and you don't own it, you don't buy the fuel, you don't do anything else, okay, you should be being paid on a W-2. That is an employee driver. If you're not being paid on a W-2 and you're driving somebody else's truck, they're stealing or they're making you pay their taxes, okay, as the employer. So you are the one being scammed if you are being paid on a 1099 as a company driver. So you should not get paid a 1099 unless you own the business, you own the equipment to transport the load in the trucking industry from point A to point B.
Correct, 100%. This is true.
That's a very sore subject. And that, and everybody that argues with you is ignorant and doesn't understand business and doesn't know the laws. Do I like it? No, I don't. When I had employees, I hated taking taxes out of their checks, but they're paid on W-2s. Here's the other thing: when you're a truck driver, if you get hurt and you're driving as a 1099 employee, if you get hurt or something happens, you have nothing to fall back on. Okay? You cannot collect unemployment. You have no workers' comp. You have nothing to fall back on because they have hired you as a contractor. All right? So you are responsible if you step out of the truck and break a damn leg and you're out of work for 6 months. It's on you. You have nothing. But if you were a W-2 employee, you have resources and places to go to be paid during that time. But if you're on a 1099, you're screwed.
Not only that, look at the end of the year, right? Instead of paying taxes every paycheck, you're going to owe all of a sudden at the end of the year, and most folks don't even know what that's like as a truck driver. Most folks, they're going to get a $15,000 bill from the IRS, like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? And now you're on a payment plan for years,
Tell me about it.
You don't want that either.
There's no 1099 contract labor in the trucking industry if you're driving an employer's truck. Okay? You can keep telling yourself that, Johnny, but it's not true. It's false. And one day you'll end up screwed.
We have a military veteran broker, so Anthony, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, gentlemen, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, so the reason why I asked that question is because if you're 1099, I was just talking about some corporate structure stuff that you guys can utilize that you can look up yourself. That's all I was saying. So if you're 1099 and you have multiple people in your corporate structure, right? So let's just say you had your own truck. A lot of people don't know about these tax codes that you can leverage as a 1099 employee, like taking a SEP IRA to lower your taxable income. So I'll give you an example. So if you guys make $200,000 make good money, right? But what they don't tell you guys is the tax elections that you can take to lower your taxable footprint, because right now the regulations for trucking is getting very, very stiff because of all the regulations, especially out here in California, right? So I just was saying, you know, if you are a trucker and you are a single member limited liability company, and you're taking taxes, you're not taking the S corp election, meaning that you don't have multiple people in your LLC, even if you have your wife on there as a member, you're gonna pay more taxes. That's all I was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right. But most of the time, when we're talking trucking in these groups, guys will come on and say, "Oh, my company pays me 1099." And so when I saw that, that's the first thing I thought was, here's somebody, company driver that's, wants to be, a 1099, and they think there's a benefit to that, and there's really not. And they don't realize that if you're in a 25% tax bracket, you have to piss away $10,000 to keep from giving the government 2,500. Okay, so instead of keeping 7,500 in your pocket, you have to spend 10,000 to keep from giving them 2,500. That's stupid.
And how does a company driver do that? That's a lot of money for a company driver. How do you do that? Yeah.
If they're a W-2 employee, the standard deduction now for a married couple is what, 25,000, 28,000, or whatever it is now, automatically off the top of your income that you're not paying taxes on. So you have to come up with, as a married couple, 25 or whatever thousand, $28,000 now as a 1099 employee. But as a 1099 employee driver driving somebody else's truck, where are you coming up with $25,000 or $28,000 of expenses that you paid while you were out on the road for that truck, as in fuel, insurance, business expenses? You did. Well, not right. In the truck, you have it.
Let me give he's got his iPad right here. Look up IRS code 280AG. Do you have Wi-Fi?
I do, yeah. Hold on, I'm
okay.
Doing a text real quick and then.
I just want to drop. I'm not in trucking, but I'm in business, and I'm just going to give some information.
What is it? What is it?
280AG. Okay, so these are like little tax hacks that business owners know. 280AG.
Tax code 280AG, Internal Revenue Code 280AG, allowance of certain expenses in connection with business use of a home, rental, vacation home, etc. General, except otherwise provided in this section. Dude, you want me to read all this? It's really long.
I'm just going to tell you what it is in a nutshell, okay?
Okay.
So typically truckers, you take your truck home sometimes, right? Depending on, these are for people who take their trucks home, right? Okay. So the IRS allows you guys up to 14 days to have business meetings at your property and deduct the taxes. It's called the Augusta rule.
14 days, yep.
Yep. So I'll give you an example. So these are like little hacks that you guys can utilize that most people don't talk to you all about. So let's just say that Rocky, you drove home and you parked your truck and you did some type of acquisition phone calls at your property, right? And let's just say that you can write that property rental off for up to 14 days, and that can flow through to your personal income without paying taxes. So that's one code. And the other code that I was saying is IRS code 560. Okay, that is contribution and pension plans. So here's where the rubber meets the road. Let's just say that Rocky, you had a trucking company, you made $250,000, right? Off top, that's the 32% tax bracket, right? So let's just say that you had 2 kids, and you take pictures in front of the truck, and they're doing advertising or branding. Each individual child that's in your company that does advertising or branding is $18,000 tax free.
I'll be damned. I'm so sick of tax guys not giving you these little perks when you. I mean.
That's why.
Thank you.
You need a good CPA, and you need one that understands trucking.
Yeah.
And just like for myself, okay, if I made $300,000, I would probably put $25,000 into my retirement plan. That comes off of my tax liability. So, but I still also
Why is that? Like you.
$100,000,
Go ahead.
put 25% of $100,000 into a SEP IRA. SEP
Ah.
IRA.
Okay.
So you make 200,000, you can put up to 25% of whatever you pay yourself on payroll. So if you make 100,000, what is 20%?
20K.
25,000. So you can put $25,000 in there, and then Uncle Sam will tax you on the 75,000. Then you take your kids and put them as branders, and this is something that is legal, guys. You can hire your kids to be marketers or brander. All you have to do is have three things. Number one, you have to have them with a job description. Number two, you can use them as marketers under 18 years old and pay them up to $18,000 annually tax free. So these are like the little hacks. So by the time you get to your actual taxable income, you reduce your tax liability because trucking, man, you guys got a lot of expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I just wanted to get those codes. The publication 560 is the IRS code is where you find it, and then 288 is the Augusta rule. If you look those up and read it, go to your tax person and tell them that you want to do those things. That's where I wanted to find it. But I respect you guys.
Thank you, Anthony.
My uncle was a trucker, and he's a mentor of mine. I'm a retired Marine, and I'm a really astute business person.
Awesome.
So I figured that I give you guys a couple of, some game, and that way you can look it up yourself. God bless you guys and be safe.
Thank you, Anthony. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you for your support.
All right. Anthony, one last question. Do you do taxes? Are you a CPA, certified CPA?
No, I have a master's degree in accounting, but I own 7 businesses, and I employ 252 employees.
Okay.
So I'm a real estate broker by trade. So I have to figure out how to lower my taxable income. So with me being having a master in accounting, I learned all of this stuff by Uncle Sam taking all of my lunch money. Right?
Yep.
That's what I do. I only do real estate. So if you got a follow from me, and you see somebody tells you that they sell crypto, that's not me. That's the clone.
Okay. Same with me. If someone's asking you for money, it's not me. Yeah.
Stay up there a second, Anthony. Let me go follow you. If you go away, I don't know how to find you. There you go.
Do you know of any good CPAs that specialize in trucking that you could let everybody know, or that I could tell on future lives, or no?
Well, I don't want to do that because this is what I will tell you though. The best CPA based off of where I'm at financially is you doing your own research, because a lot of the CPAs they're not in trucking. So think about it. These guys are not gonna. The best advice that I can give anybody that's trying to save taxes is to look at the tax codes, figure them out, and then leverage the information, because people that say they specialize in trucking, they're gonna charge you a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these times, there's 3 things that I would ask. Okay, number one, how can I invest the money into things that's going to give me a tax deduction instead of writing off or taking accelerated depreciation on your trucks? Right, that's what they usually tell you.
Right.
Get your equipment and take the accelerated depreciation in the first year. Right, but that is for rookies. If you know like how to put the money in contribution and pension plans, I'll give you an example. Defined benefit plan. That's $285,000 you put in there annually. Taking a 401k if you're an independent contractor. But the problem with the 401k is that it's not, you can't control where you put the money in. So tomorrow, your money could be gone because of the stock market. So I like self-directed, simplified employee IRA. That's my favorite one because you can put up to $70,000 in their tax deferred.
Wow.
And you can self-direct it. That means that you can pick your own stocks. So if I was a trucker and I was trying to lower my taxable income, that would be my first thing. And then the second thing is that I would hire my family members so I can put them so they can take distributions from your company.
Right. Awesome.
Anthony, would you recommend investing in real estate if you had the extra money to get rid of some of that income?
100%, because a piece of real estate, if you something that everybody needs, and you have something called depreciation. So let's just say you bought a $500,000 property. That's an $18,000 tax write-off each year for depreciation. So automatically, you're lowering your taxable income, and it's something that prints money. So if I would give anyone advice, I would diversify. I would maximize my contribution to pension plans. I would put my family members on payroll, right? Because that's going to reduce your taxable income. And then I would buy a piece of real estate to lower my taxable footprint, so you can have that depreciation. Those three things, very simple.
Did you see when Trump? Did you see in 2020? Oh, I'm sorry, Miller. Were you done or no? Thank you for the heart.
I was just going to ask, what is the best piece of real estate to buy? Is it a duplex? Is it a commercial building? Is it a investment store?
That's a great question. I would not buy commercial retail. Commercial retail is dead. Meaning, strip malls, if you notice, you guys you see more real estate than anybody does because you're on the road, right?
Yeah.
When you go to these little strip malls and stuff like that, look how many are empty.
They're burning out. They're burning out.
100%.
Yes.
So if I was going to buy something, right now that's getting really popular is like residential property, multifamily, because your ability to scale is better, right? So instead of having a single family home, my advice to people is to get multiple doors, because if you raise the rent $100, $75 for a fourplex, that's $3,600 extra a year. If you have a single family home, you raise it $100, that's only $1,200 extra a year. So multifamily, residential multifamily, I would tell people, or if you can get land value doesn't go down because of how scarce it is. So those are the two things that I would invest in if I had a choice.
Land and houses on bodies of water. Because they don't make any more water.
Yeah, and you got the coins.
They ain't making no more land either. What we got is what we got.
That's it.
One other question for you guys. Are you guys in the government? Are you all bonded trucks?
No. What do you mean bonded truck?
What do you mean?
No.
Where they have the satellites that you can haul government with it.
No.
I mean, I haul government equipment.
There's a lot of AAE bonded trucks. And you have to be in that division. You got to go through all kinds of things to do that. And there is really good money in it. But most of those trucks, they have to be teamed. There's none of them that run single at the carrier that Vince is at. I'm very familiar with that carrier, so I know what they do.
Yep.
But yeah, you have to be a pretty good sized carrier to get into some of that stuff. And your smaller carriers aren't really going to go through all those steps to be bonded, where there's only a handful really of bigger ones that are.
Your drivers have to pass a strict background check, no warrants. You can't even have a traffic ticket warrant, like nothing. No felonies, that kind of thing. To go to,
I didn't know it was that difficult.
well, yeah, to get into a military base in and of itself. Oh, yeah.
The reason why I was asking is because, with me being a senior leader in the Marine Corps, we was paying those truckers the haul of, weapons and, security of the military equipment. If you could get into that genre of business, get those government contracts, they're pretty big, man.
Yes. It's great money. Really good money.
The carrier that Vince is leased to has a lot of those contracts, and those guys that are doing it make really, really good money.
Yep. Rocky, I probably do about 5 a year. I get some here and there. Yeah. Washington to California.
Some too.
Yeah.
Some of the real high-end explosive stuff and everything, you couldn't haul as a solo. You had to be a team to.
Oh, well, for the ammunition and
truck with the
yes,
yeah.
for the weapons.
The panic button on the dash. You had the shotgun between the seats.
Yeah.
You can't stop anywhere. No parking in truck stops. None of that mess.
Couple Marines following you. Yeah.
I just always wanted to know, what is the biggest threat to you all traveling? Is it cars on the road, or is it just dangerous for what I heard that it was my uncle used to say that it was very dangerous on the road sometimes.
I would say four-wheelers, reckless driving, like crossing 6 lanes of traffic to get off the freeway a quarter mile before the exit hits, and we're always in the slow lane, right? We're always in the right 2 lanes, like in a big metropolitan city. For me, and recently, like I'd say, probably the last 6 months would be non-domicile CDLs. Look at all the unalivings we're having here this last 6 months, right? With foreigners not being properly trained. It's not about being a foreigner, it's about the training, right? Like as a Marine, you have to have training. There's steps for everything you do in the military, right? So it's the same driving commercial vehicles. You have to be properly trained. You need to be safe, conscious of what you're doing at all times. And what would you say, Rocky? I would say the four-wheelers, just people not thinking how big we are. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of it nowadays is even worse. You know, back when I started driving, we didn't have the cell phones and stuff, and we didn't have GPSs sending guys down the wrong route. You actually had to do some legwork before you took your trip and make you a little notepad and stick it up on your dash to look at. Okay, when I get to 81, I gotta go north. When I get to this, I gotta go west. I gotta. You didn't have a GPS that would run you down this damn road through the forest with a one-lane bridge rated for 2,000 pounds that these guys nowadays will cross, okay, and end up in the bottom of it and wonder why. And they follow that electronic thing on the dash. They don't realize that that's just a tool. But the cars used to always be the worst, but nowadays it's a combination of the other truck drivers, I think, and the four-wheelers not paying attention. They're all on their phones. Last second, cut off the cross in front of you. You know, they think you can stop in 30 feet and you can't. It's just mostly just all the distractions on the road nowadays. I worry more about that stuff than I do being in a truck stop being robbed or something, because I'm protected when I'm in the truck stop.
Right.
Since the first day I ever got in the truck. You know, I was protected. I protected myself, and so if somebody come in and they were leaving in a bag, but you know, so that stuff didn't bother me, but it was more the distracted driving and all of that. That is the worst, most dangerous part for any driver, I think, nowadays.
And
I agree with Rocky.
Yeah, yeah. So Rocky, you guys used to drive the Thomas guy, huh?
No, I got my CDL in 1994 and spent many years on the road. I'm not on the road anymore, but I spent my time on the road. I did my years. Now I just work on them every day. I keep them rolling.
That's cool. Well, again, I didn't want to keep you guys. I just think it's awesome what you guys do, because I don't think that people understand how important it is for, people just think that you never know how logistics, how important that is for, people's lives. That's you guys are the reason why people get their kids medicine, all types of other stuff. So I just really want to come up here and say that I have the utmost respect for you all that are on the road. And I remember as a kid, I used to sit in the back of the car, put my head up and down so y'all could honk the horn. So, I just think that,
we love that, by the way. That we love it I do anyway. I love it just as much as the kids love it, I think, when they get us the arm pump.
I always had the big train horns on all my trucks, so when a kid would come up through there, I'd blast all that. They jump out of the seats, It was a lot of fun. But Anthony, you sound like a really smart guy. But if you knew actually how the trucking industry worked, you'd be like, holy shit, how does anything get from here to there? Because let me tell you, the trucking industry is a disaster.
Is it really?
Yes, it is a disaster.
It's getting worse.
Okay, if you actually got inside the trucking industry, you would wonder how the hell did that package make it to my house in 3 days? Because that industry is a disaster.
I would never know.
Yep. Watch some of our videos, Anthony. If you get some time, watch some of our videos. There's about 10 of us out there that have great channels that just we try to inform citizens, the American public, and let people know we're asking help from everybody, because it is bad and lives are at risk. This isn't a joke. It's not a game, right? Human life is of the utmost importance, right? That's number one, is human life. Before I forget, Jester Chad Collins says he's ex-Navy CB, explosive certified. I don't know if you want to follow him. He might have already followed you, but he was in the chat. He wanted you to know that, I think. Anyway.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, you all be safe out there and happy holidays.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Anthony.
You too. Yeah.
All right. Let's.
I followed him too. He sounds like a very smart guy.
Yeah, really. See, that's what I love about this, Rocky. Like, if anything, Rocky, I feel good about my channel alone has brought so many people together. Miller, I mean, if anything, just in the last 6 weeks, I have brought so many people together just doing these lives. So many people get help and follow each other, and it's great. It's just a free network of Americans helping Americans. And we don't all agree on everything, right? We have tough discussions. We disagree on things. But here at Truckers Unite Now, I don't allow interrupting the best that we can, or disrespectfulness, sexism or racism, all that shit, religious stuff, all that out the window. You know, we try to help one another. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't tolerate all that garbage either.
Yep.
And like my page, I'm not a content creator by any means. I post some educational stuff on truck suspensions, tires, and stuff that we know, and that we try to pass along and educate you guys, because I want you guys to get 250,000 miles out of your steer tires. I want you to have a better ride. I want you to have this stuff. Okay, so I don't want you to be one of the average steer tire life in the country. It's about 60,000 miles. Well, I know that I can get you to 180, 220, right?
Wow.
Just by getting the truck aligned right, not by a computer system that gets it in build specs, right?
Yes.
By what we do. And that saves you a ton of money. Think about that. Over a 3-year period, my steer tires lasted 3 years instead of 8 months.
Yep.
You look at the cost of steer tires now. Not everybody's getting a Bridgestone 213 like you bitch for $415.
Jeremy,
$700.
yes. Jeremy Myers says, I've learned a lot from Rocky. Jeremy, I have too. Just by watching his videos, I now do a better pre-trip on the inside of my rims and the axles, and I never used to do that before, honestly. I did like I just kind of look, but now I actually crawl under my vehicle about every 3 days, 2 to 3 days. I crawl under there because of his videos. I had no idea. I mean, you don't know till someone teaches you, right? That's the thing, Rocky. None of us know shit until we learn, or until someone teaches us.
And that's what I try to do, and I know some of mine are long, and a lot of people get on there, watch 4 seconds of it. But, I'm not a professional speaker. I'm just trying to educate. So those that are paying attention are like, holy shit, I never knew that about tires, about the inflation. I never, all that stuff. And we just want to educate. We just want to help you guys also, so that you guys will know more than the tire guy at the TA. Okay, when you pull up there, you'll know more than that guy that's watching a 5-minute video of mine, than what they know, been putting tires on trucks for 5 years.
I'll tell you this though, Rocky. The people that are actually watching your videos, I've done a lot of research on the analytics for all 5 social media platforms, and I mean I've done hours of research because I'm really trying to get out to all 2 million American truck drivers, right? I'm trying to get big enough where I can get everybody in one place. And I'll tell you this, the people that are just scrolling after 3 seconds, number one, those aren't the people with an attention span that's going to focus on anything, right? Number two, you want, what they all say is you want your crowd. Like, you don't want to focus on followers. You don't want to focus on the likes and the comments so much. It's more about, like, your community, right? Your group, like what you're into. So the people that are supposed to find your videos, like me, that are trying to save a buck, that appreciate the work that you do with your videos, are going to find them. And guys like me are going to make you more popular where you need to be popular. Does that make sense?
Right.
So.
Right. Because I'm not in the creator fund. I make nothing off of TikTok.
Yeah. Same.
Nothing. I don't care about that. That's not going to feed me. I mean, I make money doing what I do. So I don't need to deal with that. So, but I always do. I always try to go back and respond to as many comments as I can. Like I've been on your live now for a while tonight.
You have.
I was sitting here doing business work on the computer, doing invoicing and stuff, and putting a couple checks in QuickBooks.
Yeah.
And I just stepped on for a minute, and you were on, and I, kind of with you there. But, so I just want to and all there. But you know, so it's kind of fun for me. Like today, I did 4 trucks today, and I didn't get one video. Nothing. I was just too busy with customers and dealing with that stuff that you know, it's like I can't. You know,
It's hard, man.
the customers there.
Yep.
You know, I'm trying to work on their truck, and I'm talking to them and telling them the things that we teach them, what to look for, and all that, person to person. So sometimes it's like, hey, if I pull my phone out and record this, is it going to make you walk away? Because I want you to know this. You're my paying customer.
Right.
You're giving me money. I want to make sure you learn this. You know.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
So sometimes it's hard.
Jester says you need a body cam. That's funny. All right, let's see. Hashtag team. What is it? Team Outlaw? Is it?
Devin,
Oh, welcome in, man. How are you? What's on your mind, brother?
another one of those days, I guess.
One of those days, huh? I feel you, man. Back pain. Back pain 101.
I just wanted to comment on that guy. I forgot his name already, but the one that left before I came up. What do you mean?
Anthony?
Yeah. Anthony. The safest, what, in my opinion, would be driving in California and staying there at night. Mainly because and Chicago, LA, and St. Louis, they would not let us go into the city when we were running when I was driving on the road. We had to park 100 miles outside of the city limits.
That's really smart.
I'll tell you, when I was on the road, just like out there in Ontario, California, if I had a load going into California, right, or if I was going out Long Beach or somewhere to go load, there were areas I would not go to. I would wait until daylight. I would stay way out of town and head in the next morning, even if I couldn't make it there. But I would always sit down those mornings and do my trip plan. Where can I get to either get past those areas to a better area, or where do I stop at before? What time can I leave to get through there and not have to stay in that area? I always stayed at the TA there in Ontario. I don't want to really admit that out, but
Yep.
Oh, I've stayed there too. I was the only place I could stay when you're delivering in LA. It's kind of hard not to go all the way in to try to deliver and get out of there, even though you have 4 or 5 hours left on your log. Right. Because, like you said, if you go in at night, they wouldn't. Once that sun went behind the mountains, we weren't allowed to go in within LA city limits. San Bernardino, exactly. San Bernardino's the same way too.
Yep.
And we had drivers that new drivers that tried to deliver at night and went in it was a Walmart DC, and one of them got killed.
Ooh.
The other one got the living daylights beat out of him because they pulled him out of the truck as he was driving down the road.
Just so you know, we can't say that word or they'll cancel the live, the K word.
Oh.
We have to say unalive.
Yeah. You're right. I should have said it that way.
That's okay.
I use the trick or treat language.
Yeah. Trick or treat language. There we go.
But yeah, it was bad. It still is that bad actually, as far as I know. I haven't been on the road for probably 5 years. I've been driving, hauling heavy equipment and stuff like that.
You're not missing anything. You're not missing anything. I'll tell you that.
I hated it honestly. I really did. I'm a people person and a family man, and the worst part was I missed my oldest grandson's birthdays and all that stuff when he was growing up. He's 19 years old now. You just miss all that.
Right.
And I just couldn't. I myself personally just can't. I can't handle being away that long, trying to survive on the road.
Yeah.
It's hard. Most of the time, I was pretty lucky. I had stuff where I could be home every 8-10 days. I'd stay home 4 or 5 days and try to make sure I was home, like for my sons with their football games through middle school and high school, and my daughters now they'll both get on to me because the grandson that we're raising. Every weekend I take him to swimming lessons. I'm going to the daycare every day, dropping him off, picking him up. I'll go over when they have their little parties in their classrooms and be there. And my daughter's like, "You weren't there for us to do that," and I'm like, "I know, and I miss it." So
Yep. Yep.
and it was a choice that I made back in those days to be in trucking, and that was
Well, to
part of it.
provide,
And
provide for your
nobody
family.
made me do it. Nobody forced me to get into trucking. I got into it because I love being around the trucks. I kind of grew up in it. My uncle had he had a mobile home and office business. They did all during the summer. I'd go work for him. I was 7, 8 years old, and we would go set up all these portable school buildings at the schools and all over Seminole County, Orange County, all over Central Florida. And I would drive them old GMC Brigadier mobile home toters and stuff all over the lots and all that. And here I was 8, 9, 10 years old. I just loved being in the trucks and around the equipment. So I always wanted to drive a truck. So when I turned 18, I went and got my CDL. April of 1994, I had my CDL. And then in 96, I wasn't 21 yet, but that's when I started hauling cars, and I was only running Florida, Jacksonville to Miami and Homestead, 6 loads a week, 374 miles door to door from dealer Jacksonville, where we loaded down and back up. So, and I was doing that 6 times a week.
Wow.
I was also making some killer money, dude. I was 20 years old, making
Yeah.
$3,500 a week.
Oh my gosh.
Running that 6
Yeah.
loads.
Wow.
That's that was when I got my CDL too. It was in '97 when I got mine.
Yeah, but hell, I was making money, man. I was like, holy shit, man, I'm making some damn money.
It's addicting. It's addicting, isn't it?
Right. It is.
Yep.
And then I stayed doing it, and and I loved it. I miss it sometimes, but I don't miss so much being on the road anymore. The first 2 years was tough coming off the road, and it was hard, like I said earlier, for my family and everybody. They're not used to me being there every day. I wasn't used to being around them every day.
Jeez.
And, I'm used to being in my truck. When I get tired of the noise, I shut it all off and I get in the bunk and close the curtains, right?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
used to having
Yep.
kids getting up at 11 o'clock at night. My tummy hurts and then my this and my that. I'm like, what is it going on?
Yeah. People don't get it. People don't get it.
Right. So,
And then to go back into the truck, right? You have to get acquitted. Then you get used to the problems of being at home, and then you go back in the truck, and now you got quiet, and now it's too quiet. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I'll tell you, when I first come off the road that first year, I thought me and my wife were gonna be done.
Wow.
It was like we hated each other, being around each other that much, after all the years of not being.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was tough, and it was a tough adjustment for all of us. And now everything's like normal people that are home every day, I guess. But so it's tough. It's
Yeah.
My marriage ended because I took her with me on the road.
yeah. Now mine would go with me, and I used to take my kids too, man. My daughters and my sons, man, in my car carriers. We had them little tiny sleepers, and it was smaller than a twin size bed. And when they were little, they'd be at one end, and I'm up on my pillow trying to get sleep so I can drive the next day. And when they got a little bit bigger, they would bring stuff and make them a little pallet between the seats, so they'd be like hanging. I'd close the curtains around the windshield, and they'd be laying on the floor beside the shifter and all with their feet.
Yeah,
to
that's
vibrate or
funny.
whatever, right? Because there was no double bunks in them damn things.
And you know what? They'll never forget that. They will be telling their friends, family, and their grandchildren one day about that.
Yeah.
So that's
remember
cool.
My oldest daughter, she was probably 9 or 10 or something, and I had a load of cars on. It was we did a lot of rental units, Toyota, for all the rental companies and stuff on the units, and up to O'Hare and all over the country. But I had a load went up to D.C. to Hertz. Literally, you could see the White House from this little Hertz place I had to deliver to. That the cars had to come off the ground out on the road and go down a ramp into a basement under the building to get stored in this place.
Right.
And at this place, and we had to deliver at night because you had to unload on the road, and you couldn't get in there during the day and unload because of traffic. You're blocking up a lane trying to unload 10 or 11 cars. So we rolled up there. My daughter was asleep. And we got up in there where you could see the Washington Monument, the Capitol buildings. I went and rode around with the truck after we got empty too. And she's up with me just trying to take pictures. Back then, we didn't have the cameras on the phones. So she pulls my safety camera out of the glove box that was in a little package, right? So if you had an accident, it was your accident safety camera.
Yeah.
Right? So I told her, I said, pull that out and take some pictures, and I'll just pick up another disposable camera to replace that with tomorrow or something.
That's funny.
They'll never forget that stuff.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess the perspective of life, right? It's how you look at everything, I guess. You could look at it horrible, or you could look at it as good, or, what are you going to do?
Right.
It just depends on the person and how their life is going at that time.
Well, and it's, do you look at the glass half full or half empty? I have 1 out of 4 of my kids, man, he's just so negative. And there's nothing I can do to get him positive. I've talked till I was blue in the face, and everything is negative. Instead of focusing on the good or the positive, it's always negativity, and it drives. All I can do is stay focused and stay on my track. You know what I mean? Hopefully he'll get out of that perspective eventually, I hope.
How old is he?
14.
14, yeah. So he's that age where he knows it all.
Oh, yeah.
Dad doesn't know anything. Dad knows nothing.
Yep.
He knows it all.
Yep. Every other month he goes, oh, you were telling the truth on that, Dad. I thought you were lying or just trying to be controlling. I'm like, son, I am the only man in your life ever that'll want you to succeed more than me. I'm the only guy that's ever not going to be in competition with you. Remember that.
Right. That's my 21-year-old. He just had, him and his fiance just had a baby back, a July 4th baby.
Oh, wow. And, congratulations. That's awesome. July 4th?
So we got
that's
4
cool.
grandbabies now.
Oh, wow.
He realizes now. I used to always tell him, look, bud, I want you to be better than me. I'm not telling you this to hold you down. I want you to be better than me.
Yes.
And I want all my kids to do better than I've done. And, yes, I missed a lot of their times growing up and stuff, going on the road. But when we went to go do things, I would come home and just randomly during the summer, hey, kids are out of school. I'd go rent a big vehicle, big Suburban or something. We would literally just go travel for 3 or 4 weeks.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
And stuff. So I would go spend time with them doing that stuff, and we'd go see things and do things and all that, not just sit home and take care of the yard and whatever. I was paying people to do that stuff,
Right.
So that we could do other things, and because I was gone a lot. So if they were out of school during the summer or spring break, then we'd hook up to the fifth wheel. Hey, y'all go pack your bag of clothes. Well, where are we going? I don't know. Wherever we end up, let's go. We're going to drive for a day and a half. Whatever beach or whatever we end up on is where we're staying for a week.
Nice.
And
point the hood in one direction.
Right. So, so we had a lot of fun in other ways and everything. But, back in 2001, like Vince, you've heard Chris's story where he about went bankrupt and divorced and everything in 2017. Well, that was me in 2001, 2002.
Jeez.
Okay? Because I grew too fast, putting on too many trucks, got way too in debt. The market softened a little bit. We weren't making what we were.
Yep.
And then the drivers having damages and everything else. And here I am, we were struggling. And, me and my wife, I had 2 little girls at the time. We didn't have our sons yet. But hell, I'm trying to find refrigerator boxes because I'm thinking we're fixing to have to pack up and go move under a bridge somewhere. Because of what I did. Nobody else did it.
Yep.
I did it.
Yep.
And it took me about 5 years to come out of that, working my ass off to pay all this shit off and keep my house and everything else. And I said, I'm never doing that shit again. Never. I don't want to be in that position. I never want my kids to be in that position. I don't want to worry about them not having a roof over their head. And I will not try to grow the business like that. If I have to stay just a truck operation and us survive and have a roof over our head and have what we need, then that's what I'll do,
Right.
So it's not easy. It's not easy to truck in any, we say trucking business, but no business is easy. If you open up a hot dog stand, it's not easy.
Right. People don't get it being in business, what it takes,
Right.
They don't get it. I'm the same way right now, Rocky. When times were good and COVID was good, I didn't save money like I should have, and had great credit, and I went out and bought way too much stuff, too many toys. Thought I was all that, and I got in over my head. I thought, oh, things will get even better. Things will get even better. I'll go get this travel trailer, and I'll get this brand new car for my wife, and I'll get all this stuff, and then everything collapsed, and I started blaming everybody but myself. Same type of thing. And so now I'm to the point where who's that Christian guy that Dave Ramsey? One thing I really like, from Dave Ramsey, I took one thing that I really like of his, and that is, other than like a house or like, a big rig or a car or something like that, if you can't save up fully for it, right? Like if you want a $2,000 couch, save up the $2,000 and go buy it. Don't spend 30% APR. What's 30% on $2,000 over 18 months, 2 years? That's, see, 3, 6, 9, 12. That's like what, $600 for the $2,000 couch? Why? You're just making other people rich. You don't need the couch.
One day I need to do a video like my shed in the back and my garage and stuff. Now I've spent a lot of money on stuff around my house, my outdoor kitchen and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I live here. I always wanted a nice outdoor kitchen and all that, and I worked my ass off for it. Right. And I didn't pay anybody to build it. I built it myself. Me and my 18-year-old son, he helped me with my countertops. I did all the rest of it. We did concrete countertops.
Nice.
And it's a nice outdoor kitchen. But I look in my garage and I'm like, we got all this crap.
Yeah.
I can't hardly walk through here. and there's shit sitting in tote boxes and in boxes, and the attic's full of different stuff and holiday stuff and all this stuff. And I'm like, I just looked at it yesterday. I'm like, how much money is sitting in here that I don't even use?
Right? Yep.
I have a lot of tools. I got a big 18.5-foot toolbox in the garage and everything that takes up one whole wall. But it's full of tools. And as long as I have those and my hands are capable, I can always go make $1. I can go around my neighborhood and change oil on cars or something to make money to eat for my kids.
Right.
So I'll never get rid of tools, but I look at some of the other stuff and I'm like, God, my kids have got so much stuff. My grandkids have got so much stuff. They've got bikes and crap all over my garage for all of them, right? But when they come to Papa's house, they come and have a good time, And I was fortunate enough to be able to buy this stuff and not paying interest on this stuff. But it could be more money put in my retirement account, making me money instead of sitting in there collecting dust. But,
right.
It's
like my dad's garage.
Right. Yeah. Well, mine's a mess.
The same way, because he was an electrician by trade, and he had all kinds of stuff. From, he worked. I don't know if you ever heard of a company called Bechtel.
Yeah.
He worked for them for 40 years. He was like the general manager for QC for the whole country. So he worked here out of Phoenix a lot, and when they were done with jobs, sometimes they would bury the tools. Bechtel would, when the job was done, they'd dig a big old hole and just drop the tools in there and backfill it.
Wow. Jeez.
And I'm talking millions of dollars in tools. Millions. And so he would sneak them home over the years and bring them home. So he's got a 2-acre lot house that has a barn on it for horses.
Right.
He never had horses in it in 25 years that he's lived there. But you walk out there and he's got every damn electrical tool you want, and he's got every damn tool that you ever want. And then in his other garage, he's got a 72 Chevelle. And in his shop, he's got a 70 K5 Blazer. Next to that, he's got a 57 Chevy. And in his shop, he's got a 70 K5 Blazer. So it's crazy. I mean, it's just stack. And you can't even walk through his in any of his shops at all because he's just stacked with stuff.
Well, you start learning real quick as a truck driver. You start learning that things don't matter. Things aren't important. What's important is to invest your time into people. not money. Don't invest your time into
Exactly.
things. Invest your time into people. You learn that real quick as a truck driver. I did anyway. You know?
I think my dad learned that too because he was when we were younger, he was on the road a lot because he got into the cell tower part of Bechtel, and he was always gone, always. And I think he learned that whole theory too. Was same thing as a truck driver. He didn't drive truck, but he was on the road.
Yep.
Basically. Right. Same principle, but he learned a lot of that too because he was paying for apartments and houses and stuff out of his pocket to rent when he was working downtown. The company would repay him. When you're paying for it out of your pocket, man, you learn real quick how to manage your money and manage your funds.
Right. Yeah, and you have to, and that's why I tell these drivers all the time. Like the AFFTRA thing and all that stuff. You guys, so many guys are focused on all of that, and you gotta focus on you first and your business and get your house in order. And everything else will come to you once you do that. And so you have to know your business. You have to know your numbers. You have to know what it costs for you to run your business. What is you have to know that stuff. And then you have to control your expenses. You want to get an automatic raise in the trucking industry? Control your expenses. Slow down. Keep your tires inflated. A half a mile to the gallon. When fuel is at $4 a gallon, that's like $15,000 a year bonus in your pocket just by slowing down a little bit, getting better fuel economy. Right? You have to do that stuff. Do the preventative maintenance because I see guys all the time with a drive axle wheel seal leaking and I'm just going to keep going. I got to keep going. I need 2 more weeks. I'm like, dude, we can fix it right now for $350. Or when you run it dry and burn the spindle up, it's going to be $3,000. Right, so it'll be $350 today or $3,500 next week.
Yeah.
So,
and they're still complaining.
You're gonna blow the tire too, and then that's gonna cause body damage.
Yes, and so I try to tell guys, don't worry about all that crap. Forget all that right now, because when your house is on fire, you need to put your house, get the fire out first. Exactly. Don't worry about them fires down the road at the neighbors and everywhere else. Get yours fire out first. Know your business and stuff, and then everything will come together and everything. And that's why when I first saw Vince, he was up there. I was sat there watching him for a couple of hours. I think it was a Saturday or Sunday, I forget now, but I was doing stuff around the house, and I had you in my back pocket with the AirPod in, doing stuff out in the yard. We were up there in the damn park in D.C.
Look at this crazy driver.
And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I'm watching for a little bit. So then I just put it in my pocket. I go, and I'm just listening to other people he's bringing in and all that. And, I'm pulling my hair out, right? I'm like, if these people would just work on their business, all this stuff would come together for them.
Yep.
And,
that's funny.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning, JT. Yeah, it is. Holy crap, it's 10 after 1 for me.
Oh, man.
It is morning here by my side here in South Africa.
Oh, wow.
Man. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? What's going on in South Africa?
Not very much. South Africa is sucked up. It's down the drain.
Oh, okay.
So,
very nice.
I don't have much left.
Yeah.
No, everything is so expensive now. Yeah, you can't afford it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm also a truck driver. I'm traveling all over Africa.
Okay, so you drive all through Africa.
Yes, I was going up Egypt, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Kenya, Cameroon, Congo DRC, Congo Brazzaville.
Wow.
Angola, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Transkei, Ciskei, Venda. Wow.
Man, that's a lot of miles. What is the pay like over there, if you don't mind me asking? Is it really good? Can you support your family very well?
No, if you're calculating it into American dollar, if you are lucky, you get 400 US a month.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you. Yes, we don't get paid
but we get per month payments.
Wow, shame on me complaining of $3 a mile. Wow. Shame on me. I feel like a jackass now.
What'd you say the number was, JT?
400
$400 a month.
400 US per month.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm struggling now for a long time to get an appointment in America to come driving their trucks, but nobody wants to give us the opportunity.
Wow.
Well, let me ask you this: what is fuel cost there? Just because I have no idea.
All right, I can't. If you've got a calculator, then you can work it out. Now here in South Africa is between 20 and 21, 165 a liter.
21.65 a liter.
Yes.
And that's
Let me do the conversion real quick.
That is in
that
rands.
American dollars or?
No, that is in South African rand. So you divide it by the
So Rocky,
I'm too tired to go converting dollars.
yeah, well, I got you. One gallon, one of our gallons is 3.7 liters. So how many, you said $21 for how many liters? 1 liter?
1 liter.
for 1 liter.
21.65 of their dollar though.
Yeah, not ours.
How many dollars is the difference, JT?
I think the dollar is now 17.7. No, 17.19. I think it is what the combination is now.
17.19.
So it's about almost $5 a gallon is kind of the math I'm getting per gallon.
Yes.
$5 American dollars per gallon is about
Yes.
what I'm getting,
Yes.
Rocky. Yeah, is that about right? Holy
That is,
shit.
Wow.
Damn, JT.
What would a 5-year-old, nothing fancy, 3-axle tractor cost there? Like a 5-year-old used one.
With
if
like,
you talk about Scania, we don't get the long noses here. Scania, Volvo in South African rand is 265, 300,000 rands. So
Okay,
that's
so 300,000 divided by, what'd you say the exchange rate was?
19.7, 17.
okay, so it's,
And then on top
That'd be
of it,
$57,000 or maybe.
yes.
American.
I calculated that right. American, so